Last Sunday, the Denver Broncos and the Atlanta Falcons met in Super Bowl 33. It was a night when Denver quarterback John Elway's legendary talents were on full display. An 80-yard touchdown pass in the first half, and then a run up the middle for a touchdown in the second. Elway was the game's most valuable player, and the Broncos were world champions once again. Today, the pro football world shifts to the Hawaiian Islands for the Pro Bowl, an honor and reward for the NFL's finest players. Of course, John Elway belongs here, and he's the starting quarterback for the AFC. Bruce Smith comes to the Pro Bowl for the 11th time, and his teammate Doug Flutie is here after his dream season. The NFC brings some volcanic forces to the game as well. Steve Young of the 49ers will start at quarterback. Randy Moss had a spectacular rookie year, 17 touchdown catches. And Reggie White has announced his retirement, so this may well be the final performance of his fabulous career. This week has been a slice of paradise for the league's best players, but right now there's work left to perform as they represent their conferences in pro football's All-Star Game. The AFC NFC Pro Bowl.
Like a rocket burning through time and space, the NFL's best will rock this place. The brightest stars in the galaxy beam up to planet ABC. You better be ready, strap in and hold tight. The Pro Bowl erupts in Hawaii tonight. Hit it! Come on and hit it! Come on and get ready! Are you ready for some football? A superstar party! Yeah, this is hanging. I'm ready to get this big blast started. Let's get those helmets crashing. The islands ignite. The NFL Pro Bowl is coming on. That's right.
The calendar says February 7th, but year-round the weather's spectacular. A rainbow earlier today, framing the Pacific Ocean. And welcome to Honolulu for the Pro Bowl. The temperature in the 80s, bright sunshiny skies and a full house. Al Michaels along with Dan Deerdorf and Boomer Esiason. And when you look at the 1998 regular season, the best records in the league were the Minnesota Vikings and the Denver Broncos, and they are represented by the most players. The biggest surprises, the Atlanta Falcons and the New York Jets, and they are also well represented. It was the year of the veteran quarterback. The average age of the 6 guys calling signals today, 36. And also, will this be Reggie White's final game? Last year he announced his retirement and came back. He's announced his retirement again, but we'll hear from him. And will it be John Elway's final game? We'll talk to John at halftime and find out where his head is at following the Super Bowl victory last week. And Dan, we've been coming here now for a number of seasons, a number of recent seasons. It's an exhibition game, but the quality of play has been very, very good.
It's still football, Al, and you can't play the game of football without hitting one another. And even though these players have spent all week at a resort, a lot of time around the pool, a lot of back slapping, and a lot of fraternization, it's still time to play football. And they realize that millions of people are going to be watching. This is no time to embarrass yourself by missing a tackle, by getting beat for a sack. There are 28 first-time players in this game. That means the game will be played at a high pace. Take last year, Kevin Gogan, Neil Smith get thrown out of the game for fighting. This is a Pro Bowl, but it's still a football game. And Boomer, we talked about all the young guys. None of them are playing the quarterback spot.
No, they're not, Dan. And the thing about playing quarterback in this game is akin to playing goalie in the NHL hockey game. Nobody really wants to protect you out there. But really, when you look at it, you have perennial All-Pros Steve Young and John Elway coming off superb years. And then you have 4 players who basically have resurrected their own careers. And Randall Cunningham with the Minnesota Vikings, Vinny Testaverde of the Jets, Doug Flutie of the Bills, and Chris Chandler, who led his team to the Super Bowl with the Atlanta Falcons. This ought to be an interesting game. None of them really wants to be in there to play a lot because they can't really trust those linemen, Dan, because they're the ones that spend most of the time at the pool backslapping.
Give me a break.
We'll get it started from Honolulu, the Pro Bowl coming up.
It's late, it's wet, and a flat tire puts you up against the wall. Wouldn't it be great if you could just drive to safety? Now you can with Goodyear Aqua Steel Run Flat. Even with no air pressure, you can drive up to 50 miles at up to 50.
John Elway, a week ago tonight, holding the Super Bowl trophy aloft, and right now helmet on and ready to play at least one and maybe two series. The trade winds really kicking up. It's been a windy week, and they are kicking up at the outset of the game, which would make all of the kickoffs and field goal attempts very interesting. And we can tell you, too, commentary for the Pro Bowl can also be heard in Spanish by hitting the SAP button on your remote.
How about Hawaiian?
In Hawaiian, we'll have that for you a little bit later, along with some fresh Manapua and Pipikala. Craig Hentrick to kick off of the Tennessee Oilers, soon to be Titans, and a good kick 5 yards into the end zone. Roel Preston of the Green Bay Packers brings it back to the 12-yard line, and each team elects a special teams player. That time it was Rodney Harrison on special teams, who was selected because of his prowess as a defensive back, but looking like the guy who was picked as the special teamer. Steve Young coming off another great year. Guided the Niners into the playoffs, into the thrilling wild card win against the Green Bay Packers before they lost to Atlanta. Out of the I formation on first down, it is Anderson, Jamal Anderson of the Atlanta Falcons, who picks up about 4 before he's dragged down by Chad Brown. Now, Barry Sanders would have started, but he has injured ribs, so is not here. And thus, Emmitt Smith and Jamal Anderson start in the backfield. Randy Moss, the great rookie from Minnesota, Antonio Freeman from Green Bay, and Mark Chmura of the Packers are the receivers. Allen, McDaniel, Christie, Gogan, and Stussy up front. Now, the Minnesota Vikings, the NFC Central Division champions, with 3 of the 5 interior linemen protecting Young, who flings incomplete out to the 29-yard line, a little low, intended for Randy Moss. Third down coming up. Let's take a look right now at the AFC defensive unit. McCrary, Russell, Washington, and the great Bruce Smith up front. Brown, Junior Seau, and Mo Lewis are the linebackers, and in the secondary, Law and Springs, each making their first Pro Bowl appearance. Harrison and Atwater are the safeties. Dennis Green of the Vikings is the coach of the NFC. The coaching staffs come from the teams that lose the conference championship games. And Young on third down, going deep for Moss. Randy had to adjust and couldn't hold on right in front of the AFC bench, unless it is 3 and out, and the NFC is kicking.
Very uncharacteristic of Randy Moss to drop that ball. It seemed like the ball was thrown right there, but as you said earlier, Al, the trade winds down here are blowing pretty viciously, and I think that Randy just lost it, and the wind might have taken it a little bit.
Matt Turk of the Redskins, a Pro Bowl veteran. He's been here before. Gets one up into that trade wind, and it's taken at the 37-yard line by Jermaine Lewis of the Ravens, and he's tackled at the 39 by Michael Bates from the Carolina Panthers. And let's take a look now at John Elway. So, John, will this be the end of his career? He'll at least start and play one series, maybe more. Eddie George and Marshall Faulk in the backfield. Smith and McCaffrey outside, and Coates is the tight end. Up front, Pacelli, Brown, Dawson, Shields, and Ogden. Terrell Davis would have started, but with an injured shoulder, is not in uniform. And Elway on first down throws, and it's caught by Sam Gash up at the 41. Bill Belichick, who is coaching the AFC, said he gave John the choice of opening the game with a flea flicker, but he eschewed the opportunity. And let's take a look defensively now for the NFC. White, Randall, Sapp, and Strahan up front. The linebackers are Brooks, Jesse Tuggle of the Falcons in the middle, and Kevin Green, Sanders and Buchanan at the corners, and Butler and Robinson, 2 Falcons in the secondary. Second down and 7 from the 42-yard line, and the handoff goes to Marshall Faulk, who has a rookie, had a spectacular day here. He's up to the 45. It'll be third down and 4.
Boomer, you and I both played in this game, and I always wondered how much the coach was going to make me play.
Right, exactly.
The difference between us and John Elway. John Elway said, "Oh, I think I'll play a series or 2, and when I want to come out, I'll just come out.
I think the problem, everybody talks about not wanting to play that much over here, but when you get into these games, as we all know, the competitive juices start flowing, and you decide, hey, you know, I can go a little bit longer.
John completes a couple passes, and he won't want to sit down.
Exactly right.
3rd down and 4 from the 45-yard line. Elway has the first down. It's caught by Keyshawn Johnson of the New York Jets. He's out of bounds at the 42, covered there by Deion Sanders. So Elway goes right at Sanders and picks up the first down.
Really one of the interesting matchups. You know, they can't do that many different things out in the secondary. They can only play cover 1, which is man-to-man coverage, which this is right here, or they can play a zone, a 3-deep or 2-deep zone. And this will be one of the interesting matchups as we go along. The talented, bright, young player of the New York Jets and Keyshawn Johnson against what many feel is the best defensive back ever to play in the NFL.
Yeah, the individual matchups in this game almost always the most interesting. As Elway fires, and that is incomplete. Good coverage on the play. Jimmy Smith, the intended receiver, and Ray Buchanan of the Falcons there to break it up.
You know, Dan, we talked a little bit earlier. I was saying that playing quarterback is akin to playing, you know, goalie for the NHL All-Star team, because you guys, the offensive linemen, like to hang out at the pool and talk. And
well, the difference between the two games, there will be contact in this game.
Oh yes, okay. Yeah, but you know, the goalie has contact just like the quarterback does
with the puck. He makes contact with it. You're right. The easiest thing to do in a game like this is rush the quarterback. Rushing the quarterback, Pro Bowl, Super Bowl, it's the same.
Deep drop. Elway has time. Wide open over the middle is Ben Coates inside the 20, inside the 10. First and goal. He's tripped up by Eugene Robinson.
You know, we used to think it was always Mike Shanahan's schemes that made it work. Denver, you know, their prowess on their opening series. Maybe it's John Elway and not Mike Shanahan. The Denver Broncos all season long just superlative on their opening drives. And here we have John Elway with the completion to Ben Coates, and they're in scoring position right off the bat.
John Elway, 3 of his first 4. That was a 36-yard pickup. He's already thrown for 52, first down and goal for the AFC at the 6-yard line. And it's Falk picking up half the distance, getting to the 3, second down and goal, tackled there by Jesse Tuggle.
You know, you talk about a guy who had a great year. Marshall Falk was really the workhorse in Indianapolis, and as we see Dermontti Dawson on the ground here, looks like it might be just a little bit of a hamstring. But Marshall Falk had a great season in Indianapolis. Everybody was talking about Peyton Manning and his progress and how well he has played, but you know, this guy right here is the guy that basically carried that football team in receiving and rushing, and had just an absolutely fantastic year for a team. You know, they didn't win a lot of games, so there wasn't a lot of notoriety thrust his way.
1,319 yards, and again, the all-world center of the Steelers, Dermontti Dawson, gets the attention of the training staff. We'll be back.
But there are some rules changes. No motion or shifting offensively. The tight end must be in the game at all times. No penalty for intentional grounding. Defensively, the key is you have to play the standard 4-3-4, and there is no blitzing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't believe that.
Well,
and
there's what they say.
There's the unhappiest man in Hawaii right there, Tom Nalen. He's the backup center for Dermontti Dawson, which means he's got to go the entire game now. Now, luckily, he plays for Denver, just played in a Super Bowl last week, so he's in shape.
Meanwhile, that's Junior Seau lined up as a wingback to the right on second and goal.
And here they go to him.
And Elway escapes. The pressure throws, and it is caught for a touchdown by Sam Gash.
How about Junior Seau running a pass pattern all the way to the other side of the field?
Well, the amazing thing is Elway plays for the offensive mastermind in Shanahan. The AFC team is being coached by a defensive mastermind in Bill Belichick, who's subbing for Bill Parcells, who has decided to recuperate in Florida after his arduous season. So the defensive mastermind and his staff, Charlie Weiss and company, there is Bill Belichick, come up with a plan to take them down the field with Elway hitting Gash, Seau in the lineup offensively, and it's 6-0 going on 7 with Jason Elam.
Let me see. It's 1:15 here in Honolulu. I think Elway could be at Waialae Country Club by 2.
He could be, or before then. And Elam, who played his college football right here at the University of Hawaii, boots it through. Elway leads the AFC down the field methodically. Looked like last week. 7-0.
For great rates on great cars, there's one easy number to know. Call Thrifty Car.
I invited him to my home to get ready for the season. He was learning so much.
That doesn't count. You were out.
The roses are out, Timmy, not the daisies. So one day, you brought this into my home.
It's not something I'm proud of.
I calmly explained how Edge Pro Gel protects better than foam because it has 8 rich lubricants.
David sure knew how to make a guy feel comfortable.
More lemonade, Tim?
Edge Pro Gel. Save your skin.
Roses, Tim, are out of bounds.
Go with the gnomes. The gnomes can be out of bounds.
I am the changing face of real estate. I am an ear.
It is a hamstring injury for Dermontti Dawson, and we've been told that he will not return. The RoboCop. Bill Romanowski awaits his turn.
I would say life is pretty good for John Elway right now, wouldn't you?
I don't know how it gets a whole lot better.
2 Super Bowls in a row, an MVP in the Super Bowl, and then starts out the Pro Bowl just like this. Like, it's been a great season for him and the fans in Denver, and boy, we hope he comes back for another year.
Craig Hentrick to kick off. His first one went 5 yards into the end zone. This is Roel Preston from the 7. And the Packer return man who has been exposed in the expansion draft. He could be selected by the Cleveland Browns in the expansion draft on Tuesday. Up to the 27. Let's go down to the field right now. Check in with Leslie Visser. Leslie.
Hi, Al. Hi, guys. Well, I'm with someone who revolutionized his position, Hall of Famer Lawrence Taylor. We loved watching you play. LT, why do you think you were so dominant?
I really don't know. I think it's a lot of players that have a lot of different ability. Maybe I just wanted more. I don't know. I just had fun playing the game, and nowadays a lot of people still have fun, but it's more of the money. Now, back when I was playing, it was more for the fun of it.
You had 132.5 sacks. Ever get your hands on either Dan Fouts or Boomer Esiason?
Oh, yeah, Boomer. Yeah, I've had Boomer a couple times over for dinner. Dan, I remember this one game Dan played. It was just, they were dominating. They scored like 50 points, and we came, and they played us, and we kicked off in that butt, didn't we, Dan?
Well, I don't think Dan would have that lay on. Congratulations to you, LT. Back to you guys.
Or that cap. In the meantime, it was Charles Woodson, the rookie from Oakland, covering Randy Moss on that last play. The incomplete pass.
Boomer, did he say he had you over for dinner or he had you for dinner?
I have no idea what he said, to be honest with you.
I think he was implying that he had you for dinner. I think he was just trying to be
you know what,
sociable.
Well, I got hit by him a few times, definitely, and he was not a nice player on the field. I can tell you that there was no compassion when it came to Lawrence Taylor on the football field.
That was linebacker, not exactly a compassionate
Well, you know,
position.
you think a guy would pick you up and say, hey, all right, you know, whatever. But, you know, he didn't say too much out there.
3rd down and 9. Jerry Rice is in the game for the first time. And Young throws, and that's incomplete. Sean Springs covering Jerry on the play.
So you look at some of these players out here, guys, the young players, Sean Springs, Charles Woodson. I mean, the AFC is loaded with some really young superstar talent that's going to be around for a long time. And this guy here, Sean Springs, is going to be one of those players that we should see here on a perennial basis.
Randy Moss is the youngest player in today's game. But if you take the next 8 youngest players, they're all wearing red shirts today. They're all playing for the AFC.
Matt Turk kicking. Jermaine Lewis of the Ravens brings it back to the 26-yard line, and he is popped there by Michael Bates, selected as the special teamer. There's a little contact here today. "80 degrees, winds about 15 miles per hour and gusting to maybe 25 to 30. And it's a little cooler here than it's been for the past few Pro Bowls.
And it has been blustery. These go beyond the normal trade winds here in Hawaii. It has been just no other way to describe it. Very windy all week.
A 3-club wind on the golf course. This is Vinny Testaverde dumping it off to Marshall Faulk. And Faulk takes it up to the 33-yard line. So Elway plays one series, guides them to a touchdown, and now Testaverde going without a huddle.
You have to remember, this is Charlie Weiss's offense of the New York Jets, so they're going to let Vinny get out there in a no huddle and run it like a 2-minute drill. And try to run those defensive linemen into the ground a little bit.
Second down 4. Vinny stands in and then throws a little low for his teammate Keyshawn Johnson. The two Jets trying to link up. 3rd and 4.
Bill Belichick has a really complicated game plan today. Let Vinny take it the first half, the bulk of the first half, and score some points. Get everybody nice and tired, and then let Doug Flutie come in the second half. The defensive linemen are tired, and they'll hate the chasing.
3rd down and 4 without a huddle, and it is picked off by Aeneas Williams of the Arizona Cardinals.
Now, that was not in Belichick's plan.
No, it wasn't.
What a softball by Vinny.
One of the things, too, about Aeneas Williams, he's a great ball hawk as a defensive back, and he has the ability to make plays with his back turned. And you think you got him beat, you better be careful. He'll come out and make a play against you.
NFC has it, but the AFC has the lead 7-0.
And John, you made it look easy there. The pressure a little bit different here in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's kind of nice to get out here and play, but yeah, a little bit different.
Yeah, you didn't even look for Seau, and he was wide open.
You know what? He was lobbying hard in the huddle, but unfortunately, Green came untouched, so I just had Sam out in his flat and was able to get it to him.
Now, John, whether you come back next year or not, there is another ring in your future. You know that, don't you? You're going to have to wait 5 years for it.
That's true. That's right. But that's what I was saying when I saw Eric Dickerson walking out. I said, you know that, and I told Mark Schroth, I said, that's when you know you're getting old, when a guy that was drafted is now going in the same class is now going in the Hall of Fame. So,
well, you're voted in by your peers, but John, you've always been peerless. Congratulations on a great career.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it.
Al? All right, thank you, Dan. Good to have Dan Fouts working with us today. Dan doing college football with Brent Musburger.
And Dan Fouts referring to the Hall of Fame ring that he has on his finger.
Dan holding several Pro Bowl records, in fact, career marks. As Young throws caught by Moss, and he has a first down as Randy takes it to the 26. Randy Moss, the youngest player in the game at the age of 21.
You know, so dangerous. And we were talking to Denny Green yesterday, and he mentioned something to us I think that kind of caught us a little bit off guard, and that was the fact that he thinks that Randy Moss might try it out for the NBA in 2 years. And he was serious.
He was. He said it, and we looked at him like, no,
come on.
We did look at him, our jaws a little bit slackened, and he said, hey, I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to play part-time in the NBA.
He said he could be a shooting guard. This is Anderson, and Jamal Anderson doing what he did so well during the regular season, and look at that as he takes it to the 12-yard line, turning a 3-yard gain into a 14-yard gain. Some exhibition in an exhibition game.
Well, Jamal Anderson with those tremendous thighs of his and the great leg strength. Of course, I think that was a longer run than he had in the NFC Championship game when they beat the Vikings up there at the Metrodome. But look at this. That has everything. Power, balance. Boy, that is a grinding it out run.
Young throws. Moss to the 8-yard line. He's tackled there by Ty Law, who's had a wonderful career at New England and finally gets the Pro Bowl acclaim he so richly deserves this year.
The thing about Jamal Anderson is his first Pro Bowl, and again, first Pro Bowlers are going to tend to really push it. And that's certainly something that Randy Moss is going to be trying to do out here, but Ty Law does a really nice job of wrapping him up.
Junior Seau thinking about how do I get back in on offense. Second down 5 from the 7. And they give it to the up back, and it's Mike Alstott of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Steve Atwater.
But I will tell you, you see number 52 from the Baltimore Ravens right there, Ray Lewis, a third-year player right now, and he could quite possibly be, at least in my estimation, the next great middle linebacker in this league. He has all the tools. He has great speed. He has great vision, and certainly a wonderful tackler.
Well, he's got the range, Boomer. You're right. He is a sideline-to-sideline guy. Physically reminds me a little bit of Willie Lanier, right? The shorter, more compact middle linebacker.
Third down and 3. Young has it knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Steve going right over the middle and had it knocked away, and it's 4th down, and they'll send in the field goal. You know, look like Darrell Russell plays across the bay from Young, and Oakland knocking it away. 4th down. Talking about the Ravens, The Baltimore Ravens have 6 guys in the game, and Brian Billick is their new coach.
Well, just a testament to what the rest of the league thinks of the roster on that team. They have some explosive defensive players, and Billick will bring some stability to them.
23-yard attempt by Gary Anderson, who didn't miss a kick all season until the playoffs, and he missed that one against Atlanta. Tax on 3 here, 7-3 AFC.
The RCA experts have been out looking for ways to improve how you watch TV.
Friend of mine is having a rough time. Jimmy, I'm scoring 2 touchdowns for you today, buddy. He'll make that 3. Well, the best of luck to both of you. And now to the kickoff.
This game will not be broadcast in your area. More football later.
Their latest idea? The RCA DirecTV system, which gives you 200 channels with digital quality picture. So if it's on, chances are it'll be on your TV.
This could be the year you quit smoking. Zyban can help. It's a totally different way to quit. Not a patch, not a gum. Instead, the first pill that is part of a comprehensive program from your doctor can help you quit smoking. Zyban helps reduce your urge to smoke and makes quitting bearable. And now this can get you started with Zyban. A $5 coupon. Call 1-888-977-STOP to get yours. It's important to know there's a risk of seizure associated with Zyban. To reduce the risk, don't take Zyban if you've had an eating or seizure disorder or are being treated with Wellbutrin. Don't take Zyban if you're taking an MAO inhibitor. Side effects may include dry mouth and difficulty sleeping. Zyban won't work for everyone, but this could be the year you become nicotine-free. Ask your doctor if Zyban is right for you. And break free from nicotine. Break free from smoking.
On 2020 tonight, deadlier than earthquakes, more common than twisters. Are they caused by man, killer mudslides? Watch 2020 tonight.
Coming up this Saturday on Payne Weber College basketball on ABC, Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons, traveling to meet the number 2 ranked Duke Blue Devils at 1:30 Eastern time on ABC.
Yeah, boy, things don't get any better than they do over here in Hawaii, do they? No, they don't.
Boomer, you out hanging 10 this week?
Yeah, I was.
Boomer needs to work on his tan a little bit.
Oh, you're unbelievable.
You, instead of browning up, you kind of pink up.
That's right, that turned red.
Gary Anderson's kick is a short one. It's fielded at the 12-yard line. Jermaine Lewis, one of the half-dozen Ravens in the game.
One of those 2 Maryland guys, too, I might add.
Yep. Tackled by Jesse Armstead. And let's go down to Leslie.
Al, we just saw a 14-yard pickup by this man, Jamal Anderson, but we haven't seen the Dirty Bird. We didn't see it in the Super Bowl. Are we going to see it here?
Well, you know, we're going to try to get in the end zone. Me and Randy are talking about it. You know, one of us has got to make a score. So I'm just trying to get, you know, learning the offense is a trip, man. I'm just trying to get used to it and just say, hey, forget it. I just got to find the running lanes and make plays.
Well, just give us a little taste of it. And do you think you could teach it to Al and Boomer and Dan?
That's my goal. That's definitely my goal. After the game, I'm going to have a little private Dirty Bird session for all the people out there, especially those 3 guys.
Well, give them a taste of it.
It's just up, down, up, across, and flat. Hopefully you'll see it.
I think our guys can do it. Thanks, Jamal. Back to you.
Thank you, Leslie. Marshall Faulk with a big run there, doing his own little dance version on his way to a 23-yard pickup.
Now, the greatest thing about Jamal Anderson, I think, and not only is he a great running back, but just the smile and the way he carries himself, and what was a great year for the Atlanta Falcons, the way that he carried himself. I mean, and putting the Dirty Bird, remind me of the old Icky Shuffle.
You know what, your Icky Woods, your old teammate. Right. And the one thing about it, and keep this in mind, this is not to demean those 5 guys. He was not operating behind one of the premier offensive lines in the NFL.
Here's Eddie George, the tall and angular one of the Tennessee soon-to-be Titans. Picks up a tackle by Eugene Robinson.
I thought that Art Shell, with the Atlanta Falcons offensive line, turned in one of the fine coaching jobs of this entire 98 season, the way he got that unit to play together. They got a mixture of some veterans, a lot of babies on that line, just kids, but yet Jamal Anderson had the phenomenal year. They gave Chandler time to throw the football. It was, and it just, again, when you operate behind a line that doesn't have a lot of Pro Bowl players on it, it just once again exemplifies the year that Anderson had.
2nd down and 2. And this time it is Sam Gash taking the ball to the 40-yard line, close to a first down. And we can tell you the Pro Bowl is being brought to you by Budweiser. Now is the perfect time to enjoy a brewery fresh Beechwood aged Budweiser. AT&T Net Dot working. Everyone and everything working together in a whole new way. Thrifty Car Rental. Great cars, great rates in over 70 countries around the world. Best of all, it's thrifty. And Edge Pro Gel. Lose the foam. Save your skin.
We had a shot of Bob Whitfield on the sideline there. He was an alternate for today's game, the left tackle of the Atlanta Falcons. And he's here because William Rofe of the Saints couldn't play.
On 3rd and inches, this is Eddie George taking it inside the 35. And we're going to see a lot more of Eddie today than we normally would because of the shoulder injury sustained by Terrell Davis. And Davis replaced. And Eddie George will see more action along with Marshall Faulk. And Curtis Martin actually came over to replace Terrell on the roster.
And he got here last night. Actually, the night before, and we came over here to watch practice on Saturday. They didn't have a practice, so he didn't even get a practice in. But he does know the offense because it is the Jet offense.
There is Martin wearing an unfamiliar number 29. Because Faulk, who has seniority, was already given 28. Testaverde throws into double coverage, and that is picked off by Jesse Armstead. So a Giant intercepts a Jet, and he flips it back to Buchanan, and he's out of bounds.
And Ray thrilled as he's crushed by Tony Baselli.
Side judge pointing one way, but clearly the possession was retained by the NFC.
Ray Buchanan, don't do me any favors like that anymore.
What a terrific play by Jesse Armstead, reading Vinny Testaverde's eyes and leaving Ben Coates his coverage and coming off and making a play, knowing that Vinny was looking downfield and undercutting McCaffrey, or coming over the top, I should say. Now Jesse,
I got it.
And Jesse really, along with Jason Sehorn and Michael Strahan, the backbone of the Giant defense, was hurt this year and didn't really get a chance to become the player that we had all thought he was going to be this year, but now certainly has done his job in the Pro Bowl.
At the 24-yard line now, it is Steve Young on first down, and that's the second pass in a row that's been knocked down. Darrell Russell knocked down the last one with his helmet, and this time Cortez Kennedy of the Seahawks knocks this down. A reminder, Tuesday night, the best cop show on TV. It's an all-new NYPD Blue. Tuesday night at 10 Eastern Pacific, 9 Central Time, coming up on ABC.
That guy Ricky Schroeder's doing a great job on that show.
Certainly is.
I was wondering because I was a big fan, but now I'll tell you what, he stepped right in.
Not easy to replace Jimmy Smits. He's done a wonderful job.
Second down and 10. Young nearly tripped up, throws, comes back toward the middle. It's caught up at the 28-yard line for a minimal gain by Mike Allstott. Bill Romanowski covering on the play. Allstott, his second year in a row here. Last year we saw $8 in the game.
No, definitely a team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I actually picked them to go to the Super Bowl.
We recall
in the preseason, and I still believe that they have a tremendous football team led by Hardy Nickerson if he can get back to where he was playing in the middle of that defense.
Third down and 5. Young over the middle, and that's caught, and it's close to a first down. Wesley Walls may have it with forward progress. We'll see. Walls, one-time teammate of Steve at San Francisco, now with Carolina. Say Allen Lewis made the tackle. And it is a first down. The move the sticks. First down at the 35, and Randall Cunningham is loosening up. He'll be next in for the NFC.
He bombs away when he gets in there.
First and 10 of the 35. AFC on top 7-3. If you're just joining us, John Elway played one series, guided the AFC to a touchdown. And on first down, the handoff goes to Emmitt Smith up to the 39. Goes the venerable Cowboy for a gain of 4.
Well, and Emmitt just barely got tripped, and there was a huge hole in the middle of the offensive line. They ran a trap, and if Emmitt was able to get through there without stumbling, he might have gone for 15 or 20 yards.
Now, one of the rules in the Pro Bowl is that the center could not be covered by a defensive lineman. Is that right?
They call it an even front. In other words, the two defensive tackles are across from the two guards. The two defensive ends are across from the two tackles. It's the old-fashioned 4-3.
Young throws.
That's an old-fashioned interference.
And old-fashioned interference. Steve Atwater getting there before the ball. And flag for hitting Chris Carter prematurely.
But then you would think with that defensive alignment that the middle of the defense is the vulnerable place to try to run into.
Well, you always try to go to the bubble whenever you're attacking a defense. And especially if it's a front that maybe the linebackers and the tackles aren't used to playing. I mean, let's take an example here. Ted Washington from the Buffalo Bills is a nose tackle. He's always lined up across from the center. Now he's got to play an even front. It's an unusual look. And there is Ted Washington.
That's one big man.
We couldn't even guess what he weighs after a couple luau's over here.
From the 44. Young breaking down is the protection, and down he goes in the arms of Darrell Russell and Bruce Smith at the 42-yard line.
Ted is listed at 325. And my guess, Boomer, is he hasn't seen 360 in a while.
He might not have seen his toes in a while. This is one of the things playing in the Pro Bowl, you're not used to your receivers, so as a quarterback you tend to hold on to the ball a little bit longer. Throw it, get it out of there.
Clock ticking down.
See, Ted ought to call Nate. Nate was 370, 380. Nate Newton, the guard of the Cowboys, got all the way down to about 305 this year.
Sleek. That is the end of the first quarter at the Pro Bowl. The AFC leading by a score of 7-3. And back we come to Hawaii after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Al Michaels, Dan Dierdorf, Boomer Esiason, Leslie Visser, and Dan Faust joining us today. Wall-to-wall coverage.
I'm known as Boomay over here.
Boomay?
Boomay.
Boomay?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Well, Steve Young begins the second quarter with a pass to Jerry Rice up to the 50-yard line.
I thought you would know. I have no idea.
I know nothing.
You know nothing. You've been here for how long? This is 12 years you guys been here?
Who called you Boomay?
You know what? It might be a bad word. I have no idea.
You mean like Boomer A and Boomer B?
No,
or
I think they dropped the ER and put AUI on it.
A Boomer. Oh, AH.
Or something. Boomer. That's the Long Island version.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing they're sure of, you're not a local.
Right. Third and 4. And Young throws, and that floats incomplete, intended for Chris Carter, who says, keep doing me those favors as I get double coverage and bracketed. That's Ed McCaffrey, the Denver Bronco, one of 8 Broncos in today's game.
You know, in his first Pro Bowl, I talked to him before the game, and boy, he was ecstatic about being here. And really, you know, Rod Smith could have came, and when you look at the Jets with Keyshawn Johnson here, Wayne Corbett could have made it. And there were so many good wide receivers in the AFC this year.
Matt Turk's third punt. Bounces at the 7-yard line and then hits the pylon. And since it hits the pylon, which is in the end zone, it's a touchback.
And pretty good illustration of it hitting the pylon. It knocked it over.
Yes, it did. Little doubt about that one. Dick Hantak is the referee. His crew working the game. They'll move it to the 20-yard line. We'll be back in a moment.
Yapping, and not enough of this.
What's that? Hey, that was uncalled for.
Oh, and electrocuting us last year was okay.
That was a joke.
Ah, you like jokes, huh? Here's one for you. 2 frogs walk into a bar. One of them does this.
Ow!
Slap the punk.
Call security.
Who's your daddy?
Yeah, hey. Ow!
Want a piece of me?
Frankie!
Look, he's changing colors.
Come on, squirt some tears, punk.
Frankie, I think they're upset.
I'm going to the movies. Hey.
High-definition home theater.
Is your dandruff sending the wrong signal?
We go out and thank each and every fan. And we knew it was a pretty big task, but we feel if we can take one fan at a time, it's possible.
And back we come to Hawaii, the Pro Bowl being played here for the 20th consecutive year. And one of the smartest things the NFL did was make this the permanent home of the Pro Bowl.
That's because many wives of these players put pressure on them to show up and play.
Yep. Because there have been a lot of no-shows in this game, especially before they took it to Hawaii. And in fact, Orlando tried to entice the NFL to send the game there a few years ago. Eddie George for a gain of 4, but the resistance was met by the Hawaiian forces. They were able to keep the game here. And that's why I think the attendance rate through the years here has been a heck of a lot better than it would have been.
I think I made 4 or 5 Pro Bowls with Fran Tarkenton and never saw him once.
Right. Tark, notorious. The only time Tark showed up for the Pro Bowl, he announced it.
I think you're right.
Well, this is great. I mean,
Jerry Tarkanian's been to more Pro Bowls than Fran Tarkenton.
2nd down and 6 from the 24-yard line. Vinny Testaverde sends it back to Eddie George. Swing over the outside, seeking the first down, and has it up past the 30-yard line to move the chains.
Now, the city really embraces this, though. I mean, everywhere we've been this week, I mean, people are talking about it. They're into it. I mean, the stadium is sold out. You can't get tickets around here. I mean, this is the right place for it. There's a real good feel for it. And a lot of the guys do like coming here. And we'll spend an extra week in the islands after this game is over.
Right.
No, you're exactly right. The NFL has done a nice job of making it kind of like an old home week for everybody involved. But let's face it, as a player, you dream when you come into the National Football League, would I ever be good enough to make a Pro Bowl? And the first one, the memories last the rest of your life.
And Eddie George squirts through a lot of traffic.
Well, I had a memory out here. I remember Dexter Manley sending me into the front row of the seats. And me saying to him, well, what are you doing? And he said, well, all your offensive linemen are out by the pool this week, so I just figured, you know, they want to know I'm ready to play. I'm ready to play.
You might be the only quarterback in the history of football that really expected an explanation from Dexter Manley. Did he apologize?
No, not at all. That's the other thing that really kicked me off.
2nd down and 7. And this is Marshall Faulk. You know, Dan Fouts, we're going to open up Dan's mind. We were talking about quarterbacks getting sacked in this game and the rate of sacks being higher in this game than in regular season games. And Dan, what was your theory from yesterday that we were talking about?
Because offensive linemen are picked for this game, Al, because they usually block for 1,000-yard rushers. Well, defensive linemen are picked for this game because they usually have a bunch of sacks. That doesn't quite work sometimes for the quarterback.
I like that theory.
What is it about the quarterback position that makes them chronic complainers? I don't understand it.
3rd down and 3, and that's caught by Keyshawn Johnson, who gets decked, but he picks up the first down up at the 49, tackled by Ray Buchanan.
You know, Al, quarterbacks wear shoulder pads and helmets just like everybody else out here on the field. Yet all they do is complain about getting hit. They whine when they get knocked down. I've never, ever heard a group of guys collectively complain like quarterbacks.
Dan Fouts, are you hearing this?
Maybe they don't make enough money. What do you think?
I don't know. Dan Fouts, this is what I've had to deal with all year long. This is unbelievable.
Well, we'll fix that.
1st and 10 at the 49-yard line, and it's going to be the halfback pass maybe, but instead Marshall Faulk goes down in a heap for a 6-yard loss. So Faulk looking downfield, but Winfred Tubbs and Kevin Green as Bill Belichick's team tries to maintain its 4-point advantage.
Bill told us that this might happen, and he said the only guy that could really throw the ball back there was Marshall Faulk. But Marshall decided to be cautious and take the sack. The right thing to do, I guess.
2nd and 16. We talked about Bill Parcells would have coached this game. His Jets staff is here, but the doctor's feeling it would be better for Bill to just rest after the arduous season. So Belichick gets the assignment. Eddie George in the meantime with some pretty nifty running all the way to the 33-yard line. Beautiful run by Eddie George.
Take that, Jamal Anderson. You're not the only back here that can make people miss. It's so deceptive when you look at Eddie George, Boomer. He's so tall. You know, the guy's 6'3", and runs tall. He's not a low-to-the-ground runner, and yet he still makes people bounce off him, makes people miss.
A lot like Eric Dickerson, one of the enshrinees.
Good point.
You know, he's that type of player. He's a full-out back. He can play third down, you know, the whole time. You don't ever have to take him off the field. And he is a terrific football player in a division where that team could really make some noise next year.
23-yard gain, and now Curtis Martin who came up here over here about 48 hours ago. Gains 1. Let's go to Leslie Visser. Leslie.
Al, it was in vogue this year to be an experienced quarterback, and no one had a better year than this guy, Steve Young. Steve, are you playing the best ever?
Oh, I don't know about that. We have a good team, great offense, and I had a fun year just throwing the ball up and letting those guys go get it and staying healthy. And, you know, you get older, you get smarter, too. That's the one good thing about getting older. So I'm a much smarter player, and it's fun to play football when you're smarter.
What do you think the effect will be of having Bill Walsh back at home?
Well, he's a powerful personality, a guy that personally, you know, he's kind of my football father. You know, he's the one that brought me up and taught me everything. And so in that way, it's great for me, but as well for the organization. We need that stability, that powerful personality. We look to him to really give that stability upstairs.
We had a wonderful year. Thanks, Steve. Back to you guys.
Thank you. Sam Gash made the last reception. You know, you look at Steve Young, and there's so many quarterbacks talking about retiring, and in fact, Randall Cunningham did and then came back. Young, 37 years old, but Steve is the kind of guy who looks like he can play pretty much into his early 40s.
As long as he doesn't suffer a severe injury, he can. And the one thing about all of these quarterbacks here, they are in what I call their twilight prime. And you heard Steve Young say it.
Here's Keyshawn Johnson making the catch for a first down.
It's about playing football at a level within your own mind, playing smart football and understanding what you're doing, and then being surrounded by other good players.
Well, you look at the first thing when you zero in on a quarterback, their touchdown to interception ratio. And some guys, when they're just getting started, if you can just get them to balance them, as many touchdowns as they have interceptions, then you'll see a veteran. And when he moves into that 2-to-1 category, you're saying, hey, here's a guy that's really arrived. Last year, Steve Young, 36 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 3-to-1.
And over 4,000 yards passing.
And they run a reverse as the ball is handed to Jermaine Lewis, who comes to the near side and is tackled at the 17-yard line. One of the things about Steve Young, too, is, you know, you look at him and he's very effusive and gregarious and well-spoken and all of the rest. I think you lose sight sometimes of the unbelievable competitive nature of this man. If you've ever seen some of those NFL films, situations where they mic the coaches and mic the players, if they lead 37-0, he is angry that he's taken out of the game.
And Al, you notice the difference. He doesn't whine or complain when he gets knocked down either.
Oh, please.
2nd and 9. Testaverde throws, and that's caught by Keyshawn. He goes to his main man again. 1st and goal.
You know, but each of these quarterbacks in today's game, and especially Randall Cunningham, I think is the epitome of it. When you see it, he looks so relaxed in the pocket and has a feel for the game now and understands where all his receivers are going to be. And you know, and the young receivers that are coming into the league like Keyshawn here and Randy Moss, guys like Vinny Testaverde and Randall Cunningham are benefiting from the greatness that they bring in. Let's go. But Randall, he's the one that is, to me, has come full circle.
6.5 to go in the half, and on 1st and goal, this is Eddie George, who's taken down behind the line of scrimmage. The tackle is made there by Hardy Nickerson. When we're talking about Hardy before, here's a guy who had the heart ailment in the middle of the season, and that was a big scare.
Pericarditis he had, which was an infection of the lining around his heart, and he's in this game because Eddie McDaniel of the Vikings injured and couldn't play. But what a nice send-off into the offseason this has to be for Hardy Nickerson to get ready for next year.
2nd and goal from the 11-yard line. And then he throws. It's batted in the air, and it winds up in the arms of Marshall Faulk. After all that, Deion Sanders and Eric Moulds with the initial batting of the ball. And then Faulk winds up with a reception.
That ball touched at least 3 different people, I think, before it ended up in Marshall Faulk's hands.
Marshall looked like he was going up for a rebound. You see him snatch that thing?
Looked like the immaculate reception. Moulds and Sanders. Ow. Tipped again.
Actually, that ball was batted back up into the air by Marshall Faulk. He tipped it once and then caught it.
3rd and goal. 15th play is a fade, and that is incomplete. And no flag. Keyshawn Johnson covered by Aeneas Williams.
And I think Aeneas Williams came down a little funny on his leg there. I don't know if he turned an ankle or whatever, but he landed awkwardly.
You know, really, when you try to throw these balls here, you want to throw them short and high to give your receiver a chance to make a play. Looks like Aeneas might have twisted his left ankle.
Yeah, he really threw his left leg out in front of him.
There.
Yes. I don't know his ankle or his knee or whatever, but both his ankle and his knee flexed outward a little bit.
I think if you're an Arizona Cardinal coach, owner, player right now, you just hope that it's not serious.
Well, we'll put names to those people, Vince Tobin and Bill Bidwell.
Position will penalize half the distance to the number 56. Will penalize half the distance to the goal line. First down.
Oh, somebody broke the rules.
He did. Remember, it's supposed to be a 4-3, and Hardy Nickerson.
Well, we saw Nickerson make a play in the backfield 2 snaps ago.
You know, the Cardinals now are an up-and-coming team, Dan, with Jake Plummer leading the way, and it all starts on defense with Aeneas Williams, with Eric Swan, and Simeon Rice, and Andre Wadsworth. I mean, they have a bunch of guys. Jameer Miller. They could be one of the real top young defenses in the league next year.
Speaking of injured players, if you're Bob Kraft and Pete Carroll of the New England Patriots, and your man Robert Edwards dislocates his kneecap and suffers ligament damage on the beach the other day in a made-for-television event.
But you know,
you can't be too happy.
No. The thing about that is putting professional athletes in competitive positions and expecting them to pull off for one another is not going to happen.
1st and goal. Eddie George to the 3-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal.
You know, if I'm playing golf against you, Dan, you know how competitive it gets and how ornery you are after I beat you every time we play. But the fact of the matter is when you put players in competitive positions like that, you know, they're going to go full bore. I mean, I don't care if it's ping pong or it's beach football or beach volleyball.
You're exactly right. It's anything that requires some physical aspect to it, jumping, running, or whatever. They don't know any other way to do it.
2nd down and goal from the 4-yard line.
And you're such a humble winner.
Eddie George tackled at the line of scrimmage. That's Winfred Tubbs. By the way, we're talking about no blitzing. The rules actually state inside the 5-yard line you can blitz, but it has to come from the outside linebacker, not a cornerback.
Yeah, it's a 2. In other words, you're allowed to get upfield to defend the run is the reason. But if it happens to be a pass play and you are there, what the heck?
Well, that would be my question right here. With the passing offense coming in, are you still allowed to rush the linebackers on the outside?
I believe you are if you're inside the 5.
All right, here it is right now.
Besides, the rules get thrown out after a little bit here.
Yeah, that's exactly.
3rd down and goal. And going for Johnson again, reaches up and can't make the play. Coverage by Ray Buchanan.
If I'm a wide receiver and I want to get up and argue about whether it's a touchdown or not, it helps to be holding the football.
Right. I understand. I guess he thought he had possession of it, and then Ray Buchanan actually knocked it out. But this is the type of throw that you want to allow a Keyshawn Johnson or a Randy Moss to go up and make a play on. And he just goes out there and tries to use his height. And Ray Buchanan does a really nice job of keeping his arm in there and getting the ball out of there. Good throw, good play, and
no, that's a good call by the official.
Absolutely.
You must come down and hit the ground with both feet, demonstrate that you have possession.
Elam, 23-yard field goal attempt. That was the 19th play of the drive, and it's wrapped up with a field goal to make the lead 10-3.
It's a little chilly, isn't it, Steve?
Oh, sorry. What am I thinking? How's that? Yeah, thank you. Better? Good. Warm.
Good.
Where were we?
We were cold.
Check.
The only thing more important than your favorite receiver is your favorite card. Visa, official card of the NFL.
You look great tonight.
Thank you.
It's everywhere you want to be.
In your fight against smoking, we're proud to introduce a new weapon, Mint.
New mint-flavored Nicorette. The same strength, the same craving control, the same effectiveness of Nicorette's nicotine replacement therapy that for 13 years has helped over 1 million smokers help themselves stop smoking. But in mint. So what have you been waiting for? Maybe it was mint. New Nicorette Mint.
Nicorette helps you fight your cravings, your habit, your way. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
If you're tired of paying late fees for video rentals or paying for movies you didn't have time to watch, check out DivX at Circuit City. Only DVD players with DivX play DVD movies, DivX movies, and audio CDs. DivX movies are only $4.49 each, and you never have to return them or pay late fees. This RCA DVD player with DivX is only $399.99, and get any 5 DivX movies free after rebate. Plug into DivX at Circuit City.
ABC Monday, Oscar winner Matt Damon, Meg Ryan, and Oscar winner Denzel Washington in the network television premiere Courage Under Fire, ABC Monday.
The Pro Bowl is online at Monday Night Online with player spotlights, trivia, and live stats. Log on to ESPN.com, a part of the Go Network. Go.com. We're back in Honolulu. Dan Fouts, what you got for us?
Well, I'm going to give Keyshawn Johnson a chance to play analyst, Keyshawn, to describe that play and exactly what happened.
Well, it was just a simple hitch in the end zone, and we figured they would be up and bump, but they played off. And Vinny just knew that, you know, I had the opportunity because I have the height advantage, and he'll just throw it up and play alley-oop.
But Dan Dierdorf thinks you ought to argue with the ball in your hand.
Well, I touched the ground, I thought. I mean, but, you know, they've been making a little crucial mistakes all year long, so this is just a bonus for them, that's all.
Are they throwing the ball enough?
Oh, I'm having fun. I'm having fun out here. As long as we win and I recoup all the money that I make coming over here, that's all I care about.
That's all that's important, Al.
All right, thank you, Dan. And there is a $12,500 difference with $25,000 of the winning team, each individual, and $12,500 to the losers. Doesn't seem like a heck of a lot to these guys at this moment, but Dan, we have seen what it amounts to in the last 3 or 4 minutes of regulation.
Yes, as we've seen this 2 years in a row, we've had tight games at the end.
Yep, including in overtime.
Where in the world should you be investing?
Reggie White, will this be his final game? He's announced his retirement. He did that last year, you'll recall, and this year came back at 16 sacks. At some point today, we'll get a word from him. We'll talk to John Elway at the half about his plans. And Randall Cunningham is the new quarterback for the NFC. And the Minnesota Viking signal caller starts by hitting Jerry Rice for a gain of 7. And we go to the sideline, and Leslie.
Allie is the 3rd leading rusher in history, the pride of Sealy, Texas, and a Hall of Famer. Congratulations to you, Eric Dickerson.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
What does it mean to you?
It means a lot. I think you played football as a kid. I don't think I ever thought about being inducted to the Hall of Fame. So, I mean, it means everything. It's like my Academy Award.
What came easy to you? You rushed for 1,000 yards more than 7 times.
I think the only thing that came easy was putting on my uniform. That was about it. That's the only thing that was real easy. Putting on the uniform and stepping on the field became very hard after a while.
Does a day like today make you want to be out there?
No, I look at these guys, and it's funny because I told Lawrence, I said, remember when we were on the sides and the old guys walking down the middle? I'm like, look at these old guys. I said, now we're an old guy walking down the center now.
Well, you look pretty good. Congratulations to you, Eric. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Leslie. Eric Dickerson, so many great years with the Rams, and then on to the Colts.
Yeah, a big day today for the Rams organization. Eric Dickerson and Tom Mack, 2 of their own, going into the Hall of Fame. When Eric Dickerson got past the linebackers, he was gone. There wasn't much left. Whoop, and there go one of your sacks, Boomers.
It's Mike McCrary of the Baltimore Ravens.
You know, that guy, Mike McCrary, was the guy who in my last game as an NFL quarterback against the Ravens tracked me down and had a 10-yard head start on him. And after he got to me, I think I said to myself, you know what? When a guy that big is faster than I am and catching me from behind, that's not the place that I need to be spending my next few seasons.
Well, McCrary is one of those guys that plays on the edge. And when he comes off the edge, he's got a closing burst to the quarterback as good as anybody in this game.
14.5 sacks during the regular season. We come to the 2-minute warning almost, but somehow, some way, 2 more seconds have appeared on the clock. Well, they say time stands still here in Hawaii. And
time retreated.
Yep. Now we are officially at the 2-minute warning. We do
Dick
believe.
Hantak giveth.
Yep.
Dick Hantak
taketh away. And the clock shows 1:57. So it's approximately the 2-minute warning.
You know, you see those dolphins. We have the dolphins at the hotel. We do.
Yes, we do.
And they have cheese here in Honolulu.
Cheese heads.
The heads from Packerland. Mark Shimura, there's one of their helmets sticking out right there at the end of the line of scrimmage.
And you have, ooh, it looked like, and there was Chad Brown, and I believe he did jump the gun because the flag comes down.
Oh, he's got to be offsides.
Yep, he was.
Small consolation to Randall.
Blow the whistle. Offside. Defense number 94. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Second down.
Look at Bruce Smith, and we can tell you the Pro Bowl game is being brought to you by Budweiser. Now is the perfect time to enjoy a brewery fresh Beechwood aged Budweiser. FedEx. Be absolutely sure. And Goodyear, innovators of run flat technology.
I'm thinking that Randall Cunningham thinks that a 5-yard penalty not nearly enough, and we all echo that sign right there. Walter Payton with a liver disorder and needs a transplant, and boy, you can't believe, Walter, how many people over here have been talking about you all week. Everyone's thinking of you.
4 Vikings in the skill positions here, including Cunningham and Moss. And is this a regular season completion? Nope. Because the ball floated in the trade winds, and Lawyer Malloy and Ty Law, 2 lawmen bracketing Moss, incomplete.
That was like a punt. Well, the trade winds rarely blow in the Metrodome.
That's right.
It's not much of a problem there in Minneapolis. Kind of a foreign situation here for Randy and Randall.
Yep. Only a dysfunctional air conditioning unit could cause anything like that. Dennis Green, speaking of the Minnesota Vikings, Dennis and his staff over here. Dennis coached in the Aloha Bowl when he was the head coach at Stanford a few years back against Georgia Tech in the stadium. Cunningham, pressured. Randall showing those moves he showed in Philadelphia, and then he throws almost underhanded, and it is picked off by Lawyer Malloy. So Randall looked like he needed a lawyer, and he found one. Lawyer Malloy with a pickoff. AFC has it back with 1:33 to go in the half. Well, John Elway played 1 series, guided the AFC to a touchdown. Doug Flutie has his helmet on and figures to see quite a bit of action in the second half. But right now it's Vinny Testaverde who has gone all the way apart from that first series. At the 50-yard line, 1.5 minutes to go, and the AFC leading by 7 as Vinny dumps it off, and it is caught by Marshall Faulk, and he is escorted out of bounds. And it will be second down and long. ABC Wednesday, what happens when 3 best friends all fall for the same girl? Well, they say it's not going to be pretty, as you can watch an all-new Drew Carey show on ABC this Wednesday.
On that last play, Vinny Testaverde took a shot from Michael Strahan, outstanding defensive end for the New York Giants, and really the leader of that defensive football team in New York.
Testaverde on 2nd and 8 finds his man Johnson, and Keyshawn hauls it in at the 31-yard line, covered by Ray Buchanan.
It's a real bonus when you're a quarterback dropping back in a Pro Bowl, throwing it to the guy you've been throwing it to all year long. You have a sense of where he's going and what he sees, and certainly right now the Jets are hooking up, and it's a real advantage for Vinny.
Keyshawn is the game's leading receiver. He's caught 5 and a couple of more thrown his way. And this is Faulk finding his way all the way down to the 22-yard line. Marshall, who put up, as Dan mentioned before, those numbers this year that remind you of Roger Craig's old numbers. Rushing and receiving.
1,319 yards rushing, and then 86 receptions. Wow. That is yeoman duty for a running back. And he really took a lot of the pressure off of Peyton Manning and gave Peyton Manning an opportunity to really improve as the season went on, and he did. And most of us thought he was going to be an outstanding rookie, But, you know, having a guy like Marshall Faulk really helps.
Lexus halftime show coming up. A performance here. They put on a spectacular halftime show featuring NSYNC. And also we had a chance yesterday to sit down with John Elway and find out exactly where John is in his process of determining what he will do. So I think it's he doesn't give us an answer because he doesn't know the answer, but I think you'll find it pretty revealing in terms of what he is thinking about at this particular point.
You know, I will tell you this, though, towards the end of a season, especially Reggie White being in the same situation, you know, after a long, hard season, you're beat up, you're hurt. You know, the last thing you want to think about is getting ready to go again next year. And sometimes you remove yourself, and maybe in about 2 months they feel a little bit differently and feel a little bit better physically, and they might consider coming back again.
2nd down and 1 at the 22-yard line. And this is Curtis Martin. The Jet takes it to the 21.
I just hope that John Elway does what he wants to do and doesn't feel pressured into, you know, the talk of the three-peat and all the other things. And of course, I'm sure he feels a responsibility to his teammates. Will they have less of a chance?
Vinny Chase throws, juggled, caught Martin to the 21-yard line. The pressure that time put on by Leon Lett.
In other words, will they have less of a chance without John? All of that has to weigh into his decision. I just hope that when it comes down to it, he does what he wants to do and what he feels is right.
Most of the players, and I've read after the Super Bowl, feel like they can go back even if he decided not to play. Bubby Brister did a great job this year. He won and was basically undefeated as a starting quarterback, and they have a great supporting cast there. And, you know, John is an integral part of that city, that team. But certainly, you know, they can get it done and win with Bubby.
Well, one of the things you won't see in the interview as part of the outtake was talking about his father, who was a coach and a scout now for Denver, an administrator, and knows as much about football as anybody. And his dad will clearly weigh in, hasn't yet. They'll sit down and they'll talk, and I think he's going to have a tremendous amount of influence over John's decision. At least he's a real good sounding board, as good as they get. He's John's best buddy.
The one thing about John Elway, and you think all the way back to his high school days, his college days, there's been so much pressure and so much expectation placed upon his shoulders. The question is will he be able to step away from all of that? And that's probably what he's wrestling with right now.
2nd down and 10. And Vinny throws off balance, picked off at the 9. Deion Sanders with a little bit of an escort. Deion across the 50. Deion inside the 20, inside the 10, and tackled at the 4 with 2 seconds. The clock continues to tick down, but they're going to have to put a couple of seconds back on the clock. Ed McCaffrey was able to tackle him and at least save the touchdown for the moment.
Well, the AFC team is going to try to run to the locker room pretending that the half is over. I'm not sure that tactic is going to work.
I don't think so either, because you could see the clock, our clock, in sync with the official clock.
No, they're at halftime.
You say what you want, but Jonathan Ogden ran all the way from the 10-yard line all the way down the field. Oh, Dick peel him off the ground.
Dick Hantak's walking off the field.
Well, he is. But you could see on our clock the tackle was made with about 3 seconds to go.
Now this is
well, they're already moving the apparatus out for halftime. Now the officials have, apparently the players have stopped. Here's Sanders.
Well, the players, there is a little confusion down on the field.
They're going in.
If you're the AFC, you want to get off. If you're the NFC, of course, you want to be able to run a play or kick a field goal. Let's check in with Leslie.
Here's the man, Al, who can address that topic. Do you think time ran out?
I don't think so. I use Harrisburg math. That means that there was one quick play. It took 4 seconds. Deion does not run 90 seconds in 12 seconds. See, so in Harrisburg math tells me there should have been 2 seconds still on the clock.
Okay, well, we know we've seen 3 now. Great plays by your defense. What about your offense?
Well, I think our rhythm's not there yet, and part of it's to their defense, a very good defense. Hopefully in the second half, we'll start again with Randall Cunningham. Hopefully we'll come out and get our thing going offensively, but clearly they did made more better plays in the first half than we made.
What about you? Have 3 great quarterbacks to choose from, but what is happening with Brad Johnson?
We're not sure. I mean, I think that, again, we think you need 2 really good quarterbacks to win in the National Football League. I think there have some teams that have been lucky, but we would like to have both guys, but I think we'll have to take with it and work with it.
See what happens. Thanks, Dennis. Back to you, Al.
Well, it's the end of an exciting first half, which ends with that Sanders pick, and we'll return after this message from the National Football League and a word from our ABC stations. AFC up by 7.
Buffalo Bills fans, we'd just like to thank you. That would be a thank you to all of you for your support.
Our mission is to go and thank one fan at a time.
How are you?
Good. How about you?
Hey, we just wanted to come out and say thank you for supporting us this year.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Wait till the wife gets see this, boy. They ain't gonna believe it.
Great. Thanks. We're in Boston.
It's nice to see you. We love you.
You think for hours what you could say to people, and you always get back to the simplest explanation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming by.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Let's thank one fan at a time. Whatever we do, let's make sure we thank everybody.
The Practice. First, the winner of 3 Emmys. Then, the winner of 3 Golden Globes. Now get ready for an all-new episode from the best drama on television.
I'd like to hire an attorney, the nastiest one you've got. My husband. I want him to hurt.
I dream of a meat hook running up your...
An all-new Practice. ABC tonight, 10/9 Central, right after 2020.
With available V8 power and 8-passenger seating.
But Lexus. Who knew driving a Lexus could feel so exhilarating? Every year, the NFL Pro Bowl presents a spectacular halftime show, and for this year's Hawaiian tribute, the field has been transformed into an underwater world with special murals by the famous Hawaiian painter Weiland. Right now, the stage is set for America's fastest rising pop group performing with the NFL Pro Bowl cheerleaders. Here's NSYNC. NSYNC highlighting the halftime show here at the Pro Bowl, where the AFC is leading the NFC by a score of 10-3. Back in a moment, and our conversation with John Elway upcoming. And we're back in Honolulu, and you know, this could be John Elway's final performance ever. Think back a year, there was some question as to whether John would return for 1998. Clearly he did, and then he repeated the Super Bowl championship. Right now the assumption is he'll retire, but who knows? I sat down with John yesterday.
John, as we sit here right now, do you know what you're going to do next year?
No, I don't. I mean, as I've said that all along throughout this year, there's a 90% chance that I'm going to, retire. But the thing that I don't want to do is close the door. I kind of want to get away from it a little bit, kind of sit back, see what happens, and then, once I get away, just ask my heart, really go by what my heart says, whether to come back or not. So, it's such a hard deal to walk away from because we got such a good football team, and the organization's so great that that's the real hard thing to walk away from. So, and we have a chance to come back and do it again, but I'm just going to kind of get away and enjoy the two-peat before I start talking about a three-peat.
What about a timetable? When do you think you'll make your decision?
Oh, I don't know. I think that I'm hoping that I can get an answer quick, but I know the thing is I don't want to make an answer too quick because I know the quicker I make the answer, the more likely is that I'll retire. So if I can stretch it out a little bit and give myself some time, I think that would increase my chances of coming back.
I don't know that you can ever know the exact right moment, but is there a part of you that fears walking away too early?
Yeah, I think the fear of walking away too late is a lot greater than walking away too early. I think the fear of walking away too early is the fact that I know I'm going to miss it. That's all I've ever done is play football in the falls and love the competition, love playing at this level, and it's such a big part of my life. So the fear of not having that and not having that adrenaline rush on Sundays and going out there and being able to perform, and then the gratification of playing well and winning on Sunday evening. Those are the things that I live for, and so I fear missing that, and that's going to be a big adjustment for me.
How relevant or how important is the opportunity to do something if you come back to win it 3 times in a row? Is that a major factor, or will it be in your decision?
That's the only reason I would come back, is that to feel like we have a chance to win it, and I think that that's going to be a big factor because we don't lose many guys, and the team's going to stay pretty much intact. And I'm sure that Mike will dabble in the free agent market to try to improve the team. So if we were an 8-8 team, there would be no question in my mind what I'd be doing. But that's the biggest draw, is the fact that we've got such a good football team that we do have a chance, if we can stay healthy like we did this year, to get back and win another one.
It's funny when you think about it. I think the consensus a couple of weeks ago was that John would definitely retire, but he has a lot to think about, as he discussed there, and also the conversation with his father, as we stated earlier, to come. Stay tuned, and stay tuned for the second half from Honolulu.
How does it feel to drive the luxurious Lexus LS 400?
We come back for the second half of the Pro Bowl.
And there's the Flutie.
The Flutie. That's right. No fluke. Doug Flutie getting ready to participate in the second half. Haven't seen Doug in a pretty exciting first half, all things considered. 10-3, despite the low-scoring first half. A lot of big plays. Randy Moss, who's been the target of several long bombs, most of which have been fluttering in the trade winds. John Randall loosening up for the second half, and the first half ending on a Deion Sanders 87-yard run back, and the officials looked up at the clock, and by the time they did, is the explanation we're getting, it said 0-0-0, when in fact it was more like 0-0-2 when the play ended.
Someone from the AFC, I think, had the button finger on the clock.
They might have.
give Jonathan Ogden a lot of credit now. That big man, who's probably the biggest guy out on the field here in terms of height and weight combined, ran all the way from the 10-yard line all the way down here to stop Deion Sanders. He was the last guy before McCaffrey got there to slow him down.
Well,
did you ever do that in a Pro Bowl?
See, Boomer, once again, it flies in the face of you're not thinking that linemen are athletes.
No, I think he's a great athlete, but I've been sitting next to you all year, and look what I got to look at.
Well, Dave's in pretty good shape right now.
Oh, yeah. I'm in great shape. Artificial hip. I'm ready for a knee. I got more titanium in me than the Callaway driver.
Here's Anderson kicking off, and it's taken at the 7-yard line by Jermaine Lewis. And Lewis brings it back out to the 25, and the Magic Flutie will come in. Doug Flutie.
And every defensive lineman now. And here again, this is how we ended the first half. Looked like he had an armada out in front, but Deion Sanders forced to cut back, and Jonathan Ogden is there.
You got Marshall Faulk pushing him to the inside, and Jonathan Ogden makes an attempt right there, and then McCaffrey comes around and tackles him. But Deion, to his credit, knew that there was not that much time left on it, was trying to call timeout.
And by rights should have been granted it. At the 25-yard line, this is Martin. When in effect, he didn't have to call timeout because on a change of possession, the clock should have stopped at that moment anyway.
At the conclusion of the play.
Right.
Oh, controversy. We love controversy.
Yes,
in the Pro Bowl. Controversy in the Pro Bowl.
Right.
Well, right now, the most unhappy people in the stadium are the defensive linemen for the National Football Conference, because the active one, the ever-moving Doug Flutie, being the field general now for the AFC. A fatiguing affair chasing him around.
So the fresh Flutie on 2nd down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Slings it incomplete, intended for Keyshawn Johnson. Doug Flutie, who started the season with Buffalo as a backup. Remember, the Bills made the trade with Jacksonville, got Rob Johnson, then Rob got hurt. Doug came in, did a magnificent job, won the starting job, took them to the playoffs, and of course they were a loser to Miami in a controversial wild card finish.
One of the few teams, the Buffalo Bills being, that has actually 2 starting quarterbacks, caliber starting quarterbacks, and Minnesota Vikings being the other. And we talked about Brad Johnson. To me, that guy is a starter in this league.
3rd down and 10, and that is caught up at the 32-yard line, and Keyshawn Johnson makes the catch, picks up the 1st down. Ray Buchanan makes the tackle. And Boomer, the thing about Johnson now is that there are a lot of rumors about what's going to happen to Brad Johnson. Right. Talk about maybe going to Seattle. Dennis Green, of course, has been very circumspect all week in discussing it.
But the rich just get richer in the case of the Minnesota Vikings. If they trade him for starting players, a few draft picks, and they play their cards wisely, then he will be able to bring them some riches. And not like that team needs anymore.
Well, you heard Dennis yesterday tell us that he thought that Randall had 3 years left in him. You don't move Brad Johnson, though, without saying who's going to play quarterback for the Vikings 3-4 years down the road. You need a plan. And Randall is not the long-term plan for Minnesota.
Hendricks punt returned up to the 28-yard line by Preston.
In Chinatown, a new gang is out of control. And even good cops can't play by the rules when there aren't any.
I'm ready to give it a shot. That's why I'm here, sir.
You don't change Chinatown, boy. It changes you.
I'm glad it's not just me.
Chow Yun-Fat. Mark Wahlberg. The Corruptor, rated R. Coming soon.
For Dan and Lisa, it just clicked. So they loaded up their Ford Expedition and got back to doing what they loved. Answering the call of the wild.
I lost them.
And they unleashed a beast of their own. That big 5.4-liter Triton V8.
Gotcha.
And you thought Little Red Riding Hood got a close look. Ford Expedition. Built Ford tough.
Wednesday on Drew. 3 men fight for the love of 1 woman. Who will win? Watch ABC's Drew Carey Show in February to find out. See you Wednesday.
ABC next Sunday. This small town shares a secret. so terrible, even they won't talk about it. ABC is taking February by storm. Stephen King's storm of the century. Next Sunday. See it first on ABC. Then read the book.
College basketball coming up this Saturday on ABC. Wake Forest against Elton Brand and the number 2 ranked Duke Blue Devils. This is coming Saturday right here on ABC. Al Michaels, Dan Deerdorf, Boomer Esiason, Leslie Visser, and Dan Fouts in Honolulu. Third quarter, AFC up by 7. And Randall Cunningham of the NFC on first down tries to set up the screen and does to Mike Allstott of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Mike brings it out to the 31-yard line. Gain of 3. Let's go to Dan Fouts. Dan.
Thank you, Al. I'm here with another new member of the Hall of Fame class of 1999, Ozzie Newsome. Ozzie, we played in a few of these games. A little bit different, though, looking at with your current position as Director of Player Personnel.
Well, yeah, that's true. I thought I could come over here to the game and enjoy it, but now I'm concerned about whether one of my guys is going to get hurt or not. You know, they've made it through the season, and hopefully they can finish this game without any injuries so we can start on 99.
Your feeling on your induction, Ozzie?
Well, it's a special feeling. You work all your life to play football. You play for the fun of it, and I think this is the greatest award you can get for all of the time that you spend out there practicing in the meetings and all of those things.
Well, as you got 6 players out here today, you must be doing a good job in that front office.
Well, yeah, I have a real good staff. Phil Savage, James Harris, John Wooten, those guys do a very good job of helping me out, and they especially have done a good job since I've been on a head coaching search and been trying to enjoy this Hall of Fame.
Congratulations, Oz. Al, you'll notice I'm with the tight end.
I was just thinking the same thing, Dan. Dan with a special affinity, of course, for Hall of Fame tight ends, having linked with Kellen Winslow all those many seasons.
And talk about a wild time in Canton, Ohio. For the ceremonies that'll come up later on in the summer. Not only will the Cleveland Browns be playing in that Hall of Fame game, but Ozzie Newsome, a longtime Cleveland Brown, will stand on the steps there in Canton and go into the Hall of Fame. That will be that'll be some scene.
Boy, he used to give us fits against the Cincinnati Bengals. He always found the opening down the middle, and it always seemed like he was the guy that made the big play on 3rd down.
This is a 3rd down and 7 now. It is knocked away. There is a flag thrown. Randy Moss and Ty Law involved in the reception. The wind really kicking up again.
You're going to have offsides by the defense.
Peter Boulware, one of the Ravens, coming across.
You think about that young talent that the Ravens have on their football
Offside.
team.
Defense number 50, 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 3rd down.
Well, they really shine, Boomer, and you and I have talked about this before, is their front 7. You look here in this game with Ray Lewis and Boulware and Michael McCrary, and this is a football team that's, you know, defensively they're as strong as anybody in the AFC.
Brian Billick is going to inherit a pretty good roster, and if they can get going offensively, they will definitely be, along with the Tennessee Titans, I think the 2 teams that will make the biggest jump in the AFC Central.
This is Cunningham and Moss converting on a short 3rd down play for a 1st down up at the 41-yard line. Brian Billick getting the head coaching job at Baltimore, and Dennis Green has elevated Chip Myers, former teammate of Boomer's, to the offensive coordinator.
No,
spot.
not teammate, coach. He was a coach.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he's much older than me now.
You got to be kidding me.
No, he was a coach, a wide receiver coach at the New York Jets when I was there.
Ray Sherman has also come back to join Dennis Green. There is Chip, and Ray Sherman has come back after 1 year as the offensive coordinator for Bill Cowher at Pittsburgh.
96, you know, 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Are still 1st down.
The great thing for Chip Myers is that he has really paid his dues. He's been a long-time assistant coach. He's been a wide receiver coach, then became the quarterbacks coach, and is now the offensive coordinator. He takes over for Brian Billick. And the nice thing that Denny Green did is he brought Ray Sherman back in now to coach the quarterbacks. And Ray had a disastrous year as the offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. And he got out of there, and now he finds himself back home again, if you will.
1st down and 5 after the penalty. Cunningham throws to Moss. Randy picks up the 1st down as they cross midfield. Ty Law with the coverage.
Well, Ray Sherman in Pittsburgh in his defense, was saddled with the task of going in as an offensive coordinator and having to execute a system that was already in place.
Right.
And that is, any coach will tell you that's about the most difficult assignment a coach can have.
You want to be able to go in there and put your ideas on paper and make the guys do what you think is right. And to his credit, he tried. He took, he basically.
Again, all of a sudden, after a fairly penalty-free half, we've got a flag on nearly every play as Robert Smith gains 8.
Ray had to make the sacrifice to call those plays, and he really didn't know Cordell Stewart, and it was kind of discombobulated from the beginning. It just never seemed to get on sync for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
But as the age-old adage is once again proven to be true, it's easier to fire a coach than it is to get rid of the players.
Right. And, and that's a team, too, that, has an outstanding defense, much like the San Diego Chargers. And if these two teams can get their offenses going and clicking, then they will be teams that will, make a run, at least for the playoffs next year.
Well, firing coaches, as Dan said, is a
offside
solution.
Defense number 99 is declined. It will be second down.
And when you think about that, you look at that man, or Dennis Green, as we check out the staff for the NFC.
That's Ray Sherman.
That's Ray Sherman right there. And we'll get a shot at Dennis Green in a second. Off on the side as Dennis Green now has the longest tenure in his current job among all 31 NFL coaches. And the 31st, of course, McCounty Cleveland, and that play is whistled dead.
Coaching in this league is not an easy thing. I mean, it's a 24-hour-a-day job. It's just when you think the season is over, you have to start getting prepared for next season. And this year, Al, along with getting ready for the expansion draft and to see how Cleveland does, you have to get ready for free agency now. You have to get ready for the draft that comes in April. It's not an easy job. And you talk about burnout. It's a job that really is thankless when you think about it, because there's only one guy that can win the whole thing.
Well, right now, in terms of tenure with one team, Dennis Green tops because he got his job 11 days before Bill Cowher was hired by Pittsburgh in '92, and another pickoff. Ty Law, and nobody will chase him down. Touchdown for the New England cornerback.
He had 9 of them during the season.
Well, he took his helmet off. That's supposed to be a penalty,
and
it will be.
Dick Hancock forced to throw the flag. It was perfectly timed. Ty Law took Cunningham's pass in full stride. No way anybody had an angle close enough to cut him off.
The thing about Ty Law, he's sneaky out there. He looks at you and he watches you, and he knows that Randall Cunningham only takes a 3-step drop, and that coincides with a short pattern like that, and a smart defensive back can make a play on it.
Well, the Patriots invested a #1 draft choice in Ty Law, who had a wonderful career at Michigan, and he's a cornerback that just doesn't play one side of the field. Ordinarily, he's locked up on the team's best receiver. And to say that he sat on that pattern, that's when you hear someone say a cornerback sat on it, that's sitting on it. He reads that all the way. I don't know if Freeman was tipping it off or if he looked into the backfield and saw something, but he played that all the way.
I think he was looking in the backfield and saw that Randall took 3 steps. And that coincides with a short pass down the field, and he made a play on it.
Ray Claiborne, the last New England Patriot defensive back to play in the Pro Bowl after the '86 season. So Law comes over and makes his presence very much felt. 17-3.
Come on. Come on, he's taking too long. I should have gone.
Yeah, you should have gone, man. You should have gone.
Do it. He's coming, and he's got it.
This is all I can get.
You did good, Billy. You did real good.
Yeah, the boy should have planted that 3 hours ago.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Can I go now?
No.
That's one race that I wish I could run over one more time.
The legendary Daytona 500 has broken a lot of hearts.
I was way out front in 1981, and that thing ran out of gas.
In 74, I blew a tire with 12 laps to go. But the biggest Daytona heartbreak of all would be trying to get into this year's 500 using an American Express card. So if you want to enjoy the heart-pounding excitement of Daytona, bring your Visa card. It's everywhere you want to be.
My girlfriend left me here at Daytona. I sure miss that car.
You know, a man can be judged by more than just who he is. And today, the jury is out at 211 Vine Street.
Guess who I saw last night?
Who? Billy. That man is fine. Too fine. And that car is hot. Inside that car is hot. Yes. Ruby red. I know that man in his Mustang. I look good in that car. Billy! I look good in that car.
Keep driving, Billy. Keep driving. The new 1999 Ford Mustang, built to last.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Back at the Pro Bowl, Dan Fouts, along with the man who just got in the end zone, Ty Law. You took it all the way back where Deion couldn't get there.
Hey, it feels good to be out here playing. I think I'm a little bit out of shape, a little bit tired right now, but hey, it was a good play, but we still got a long way to go.
You read the three-step drop?
Oh, yeah, they was trying to pick on me with the hitch, and I think they was expecting me to bite on one so they can get me with the double move, but I caught them before they caught me.
Not bad for your first Pro Bowl.
Oh, I'm feeling good.
Al, back to you.
Right, thank you.
Thank you, Dan. And since Ty broke the law, that's why they'll kick off from the 15-yard line after that penalty for removing his helmet. Craig Hentrick to send it skyward.
But ultimately, the law won.
Yes, it did. The law won for 7 points and a 17-3 advantage. Roel Preston from the 15-yard line.
And when you listen to Ty Law, isn't that really, didn't he just summarize the life of a cornerback? I got him before he got me. Because ultimately, he'll get burned.
The life of a cornerback, and there's a pretty good one right there.
Bobby and Henry had the battle lines drawn.
My side. Chill out, you guys.
Luckily, Mom had a redesigned Ford Windstar with options like new dual remote power doors, a see-all, know-all mirror,
Henry reached over. Boys, calm down.
and a new reverse sensing system.
The garbage cans. On his side. Or not. Anybody feed the dog? That's his house.
Brotherly love. The new Ford Windstar, built to last.
You're so lucky. Not one gray hair.
When a woman can run her fingers through your hair and can't tell you blend away your gray, that's a natural-looking result. And that's just what you get with the hair color called Just for Men. Simply shampoo in, then rinse. In only 5 minutes, this unique formula blends away gray, actually matches your gray to your real color. So nobody knows, even close up.
I just love your hair.
Just for Men. It looks so natural, even she can't tell.
Boy, there sure are a lot of fans out here today, PC.
Oh, yeah. It reminds me of how many computer products are at CompUSA.
Oh, boy.
You see, Bob, CompUSA gives you access to more than 50,000 name-brand computer products.
All at guaranteed low prices, right?
That's right. CompUSA also scores big with super technical services like upgrades, repairs, delivery, and installation, even 24-hour phone-in support.
Well, that's all terrific, PC. Is there anything about this game that doesn't remind you of CompUSA?
Well, parking's a lot easier at CompUSA.
That's true, and they don't sell $8 nachos.
No.
ABC Tuesday.
Joey, be my best man when I get married. You're not going to take that away from me, are you?
No!
All new NYPD Blue, ABC Tuesday.
Well, there's a rowing machine, and then there's this. A little outrigger canoe action.
That's me right there in the middle, the fourth one from the front.
When?
It's a couple days ago.
Was that Wednesday? You went to Maui, didn't you? 36-yard line, 1st and 10. Cunningham giving the ball to Emmitt Smith.
I'm moving. I'm moving to Maui.
Leslie Visser.
Al, he was the driving force behind a great offensive line with the Buffalo Bills Hall of Famer Billy Shaw. Billy, you waited 25 years for this. What was your emotion?
Well, I don't know that if it's set in yet or not, but it was a long wait. But believe me, it's been worth it.
What was the time like back then? Weren't you also drafted by the Cowboys?
There were two leagues, AFL and the NFL, and I signed with the AFL prior to the NFL draft. But the NFL, Dallas Cowboys, drafted me in hopes maybe that the AFL would pull.
Well, it worked out great. I think every running back would like like to run behind you. Congratulations, Al.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Leslie. And you talk about working out great. The adjustment by Randy Moss, looks inside, goes outside, and 48 yards from Cunningham.
You talk about a life of a cornerback. Well, Ty Law is on the other end of this one now. And this is Randall Cunningham doing his thing, throwing it up, and there's Ty Law. And Randy Moss making a terrific adjustment. You can't appreciate how difficult this is for receivers and defensive backs to be able to turn around, lose the ball while they turn their back to it, and then make that play.
Couldn't agree more. Not many receivers. And he made it look so easy. That's the remarkable thing about Moss. He did it relatively routinely.
You know, and I had a chance to talk to him in the locker room before the game. He's a really nice kid. He's down to earth. And he certainly has made a huge impact.
He will be back to Honolulu.
Timeout for the NFC.
The 12th Street Warriors about to play the game of the season. This time, it's all about pride.
We can't lose to this team again, y'all.
Not this time.
We got this game. Only winners riding in this expedition.
What about that pitch?
For Williams?
I couldn't even see it.
But we are warriors.
Warriors. Warriors.
Warriors.
So, you girls really showed up, huh?
You guys better pray for rain. The 1999 expedition, built for tough.
I can't believe you tore a stunt like that. What were you thinking? You weren't thinking, were you? I don't think so. You think you're different? You think you're special?
No, I don't.
Get that camera out of here. Did we go over this? We did. You want to coach this team?
I didn't know it was the last one.
He's so sensitive. These are mine, too.
I am the changing face of real estate. I'm an ear. I'm a voice. I am a guarantee. I am Coldwell Banker, and I will sell your home.
Call your local office and discover what real estate should be.
Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals? Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue #1. So don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
On 2020 Tonight, deadlier than earthquakes, more common than twisters. Are they caused by man, killer mudslides? Watch 2020 Tonight.
Back at the Pro Bowl on a beautiful day. Temperature in the low 80s in Honolulu. The NFC down by 2 touchdowns, but threatening here 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line as Randall Cunningham hands the ball off, and it's Emmitt Smith. The Cowboy takes it to the 7-yard line. 2nd down and 6. Ty Law giveth and taketh.
It's amazing how it can all change on you. And you know, the NFL has always been a game of momentum, but to have successive plays like that happen to you where you take one for a touchdown and then give up a big play on the other end.
2nd down, make it 5. The ball now at the 6-yard line. And they give it to Emmitt again. More rushing touchdowns than anyone, taking it to the 4-yard line. Ted Washington with the tackle.
The only thing that you could possibly say in Ty Law's defense is I'm not sure there's a cornerback in the game that could have kept Randy Moss from adjusting back to that ball on the sideline.
Yeah, it would have been an impossible play. And there you see Aeneas Williams talking to Deion Sanders, and I guess Aeneas has a twisted ankle. We're not going to see him the rest of the day, but there's so many good young players that are getting ready to step into the place of some of these older, greater ones.
3rd down and 3 from just inside the 5-yard line. And they give it to Emmitt Smith, and Smith takes it down to the 2-yard line. Ray Lewis with the tackle.
Did you see how quickly he got off that block and made the tackle? And again, this is the heart of the Ravens defense. Ray Lewis, he is an impact player. He's a guy who explodes on the scene. He reminds me a lot of another player, Marvin Jones, who got hurt for the Jets, but who sheds blocks and gets in there, and I mean just really delivers a lick.
Well, it's 4th and a long 1, and they're down by 14, so the NFC will go for it. They can get the 1st down without a touchdown. They give it to Smith, and he gets both. Emmitt Smith carrying the ball 4 consecutive times for the touchdown.
Looks like they ran it right up the middle, Dan, right where that void is, where you say the bubble, the center is not covered, and that's the weakness of the base 4-3 defense if you can get through there.
Outstanding blocking by Christie and the group up front, and you're right. Hey, keep hammering away, and I like the decision to go ahead and go for it.
Gary Anderson for the point after, so Emmitt scores. Keep play on the drive. The 48-yard pass to Moss. NFC back in the game with the Americans leading by 7.
No matter what you drive, import or domestic, Pep Boys has your battery. Get any ProStart 75-month battery from $39.99. ProStart name brand quality battery starting at a low price of just $39.99. Pep Boys.
Cars like us. People love us.
When you have it your way, it just tastes better.
I'm John Randall of the Minnesota Vikings. We're solving today's problems through the United Way. The NFL, the United Way, and you, the power of teamwork.
Dennis Green, not only longest in tenure among the coaches in the NFL with Steve Young and Randall Cunningham there, but when you look at all of the coaches and managers in the 4 major North American sports, it's ironic to note that #1 would be Tom Kelly, the manager of the Minnesota Twins. He's been there longer than anybody in any sport with one team, and they share the same building, the Metrodome. Anderson kicks off, fielded at the 6-yard line by Jermaine Lewis. And Lewis gets tripped up, is able to get back up, and is run out of bounds up at the 28-yard line. This Pro Bowl game is being brought to you by Ford Taurus. Ford, built to last. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. And Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. So, Boomer, you're going to move to Maui, huh?
Why not?
Yeah, well, you can rotate. You can have dinner at Corelli's, Longhi's, or the Sea Watch.
Mama's Fish House. How about Mama's Fish House?
You can do that, too.
Well, we know where Al's getting 4 meals.
Well,
4 free dinners on the first 4 days of next week.
From the 28-yard line on first down, Curtis Martin picks up 1. Boomer brought it up.
Hey, you know, the thing about this out here is that, you know, you're 5 hours away from the East Coast, and you just have an opportunity to just forget about everything, you know. And
well, the funny thing is that John Elway is going to stay here for the next several days in vacation in the islands, and he said, you know, I have to get away from it, and what better place to do it and really contemplate what's going to happen in the future. Might be a little golf in his plans next week too.
Absolutely.
John is a 1 handicap. 2nd and 9. Flutie throws, and it's caught up at the 45 by Ed McCaffrey of the Denver Broncos.
You know, one of the great things to see over here and really get a feel for is the Pearl Harbor situation and the USS Arizona Memorial. I mean, you talk about something that's moving. And I played in the Aloha Bowl here, the inaugural Aloha Bowl, played in a few of these Pro Bowls. And every time I go back there, it's the same. You get the same feeling. And it's really something that everybody in this country should experience.
Well, they've just moved the mighty Missouri into a position of mooring about 1,000 feet down from the Arizona Memorial. I'm going there tomorrow.
From the 46-yard line. And this is across the 50 to the 45-yard line. And let's go down to Leslie.
Al, the NFC got back on track offensively thanks to this guy, Emmitt Smith. Emmitt, feel good to be in the end zone there.
Oh, yeah, especially when we've been struggling a little bit offensively, and we had a great series that time. Randy Moss made a big play, big catch. He set us up down in the red zone, and was able to capitalize on it.
You just finished your 9th year with the Cowboys, kind of a rough year. Where do you see yourselves headed?
I don't look at it in terms of a rough year. I thought it was a good year for us, even though we didn't go as far as we wanted to, but we made some giant strides compared to the year we had before. So I think we're making the right moves. We've done some great acquisitions in Chan Gailey's offense, and so we're just going to right now let this past season go on behind us and try to build off of it.
See where it goes. Well, you were the MVP in Atlanta in your Super Bowl. That's where it is again next year. Good luck to you, Emmitt. Back to you, Al.
Thank you, Leslie. Curtis Martin picks up the first down. Paul Tagliabue, the commissioner, in the center of the screen right there, and Pat Bowlen. And also Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, in the front row. Left of your screen right there. So the owner of the Cowboys, the owner of the Broncos here. Pat Bowlen, of course, has the Hawaii roots. Involved in a lot of businesses here through the years. Inside the 40 goes Martin to the 30-yard line, and that is a first down.
You want to know why the Denver Broncos have won 2 Super Bowls and basically have been in the playoffs? I mean, Pat Bowlen has done a great job putting together an organization that obviously includes one of the better coaches in the NFL, and Mike Shanahan. And, you know, and it's a feeling in talking to Ed McCaffrey that he was saying, you know, when you come to work, there's expectations that we're going to win. And there's no fooling around at work. I mean, you have to be on time. You know, they don't take anything for granted, and it's really a wonderful organization and one to be a model of.
Oh, wow, this is Martin, one way then the other. The other thing about Pat is my idol because John Elway works for Pat Bowlen, who can belong to Wildlife Country Club, a fabled course here. And once he's 100 yards off the tee, he takes his shirt off and his shoes off.
I saw him over there the other day doing that. And, you know, and it was like 35-mile-an-hour winds over there, I might add.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering, who's this guy with his shirt off running around with it? Well, that's Pat Bowlen, the owner of the Broncos.
You're allowed to do it.
He took his shoes off?
He did.
Shirt. Oh, yeah.
He plays golf?
He barefoot. Yes, he does.
Different.
Yep. 2nd and 8 from the 28-yard line.
Kind of flies in the face of needing spikes or some sort of traction.
It does. Doesn't even need soft spikes. Jerry Richardson and his wife, the owner of the president of the Carolina Panthers.
The commissioner asked him if he needs a hot dog or anything.
Jerry, of course, recently hired George Seifert to try to turn it around in Charlotte. 3rd down and 8 at the 28-yard line. Flutie, and that's incomplete. The pass is high. The pass incomplete, intended for Jermaine Lewis. Here's a reminder that Wednesday on ABC, Dharma hits the campaign trail, runs for office. Watch Golden Globe winner Jenna Elfman, along with Thomas Gibson on the all-new Dharma and Greg. Wednesday right here on ABC. This is a 46-yard field goal attempt by Jason Elam, who grew up in Georgia but played his college football right here at the University of Hawaii. And Jason Elam, who earlier this season kicked that 63-yarder to tie the NFL record, bangs this one through to stretch the AFC advantage to 20-10.
Of course, this is the home field for the Rainbows, so Jason right at home, and one of the favorites here out on the islands. How about the job in the national anthem today?
It was pretty good. For a big old defensive lineman?
I guess so. Esera Tuaolo sang the national anthem today, and it was magnificent.
And it wasn't lip sync either.
No.
He was the man.
You'll remember him. He used to play defensive line for the Vikings. You now remember the Atlanta Falcons defensive team, and he did an extraordinary rendition of the national anthem.
It was unbelievable.
He was tremendous. Let's go to Dan Fouts. Dan.
Just got here on Friday night, and of course you're familiar with the offense, no problem.
Yeah, but they changed the wording around, so I'm in there, and the quarterbacks are telling me the plays. They're saying, you're going right this time, Curtis, you're going left. So they're helping me along.
And you have any words for your coach back watching the game, Coach Parcells?
Great job this year. Glad to be with you.
Listen, you're running so hard, Curtis. You're ripping the letters off the back of your jersey. Take a look at this. The Mar is gone. He's just the Tin Man. Al?
Very good, Dan. Very good. That's deep in the end zone, 5 yards in. It's the Pro Bowl, so Preston's going to come out with it. And he's tackled up at the 22. Roel Preston, we mentioned before, a guy who is exposed to the expansion draft. So you're good enough to make the Pro Bowl, but not good enough to be protected by your own team. And Chris Chandler of the Atlanta Falcons will come in at quarterback for the NFC.
The youngest quarterback in this game.
At 33.
Yeah.
Not bad.
A kid.
You know, this is what I was talking about. I guess it's kind of like the twilight prime of their career. You know, it's they get it, they figure it out, they get themselves in good situations, and they're smart enough to be extremely effective on the field.
And Emmitt Smith turning into the workhorse, but this time it is Mike McCrary of the Baltimore Ravens who is there to stop him behind the line of scrimmage.
You know, and you always look for situations or games where players really stick out, and the game that comes to mind is the Falcon game in Minnesota when they beat the Vikings. The fact that none of their players jumped off sides, none of their players held. It was basically a poised filled game. And did you know that game was a game where Chris Chandler did not yell one signal at the line of scrimmage? They did it all by silent snaps. And to be able to do that and play effectively and win was something to behold and watch.
2nd and 15 and a coming of age as well for Chris Chandler, who through the years has been so injury prone, and there he was at the end of that game trying to lead them down the field, and went down with what appeared to be an injury that might be enough to knock him out of the game, and instead gets up, throws the tying touchdown pass, and wins the game.
And acknowledges that he's received a lot of help during his career from his father-in-law, a guy that knows a little something about playing quarterback, John Brody, former quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers and golfer on the senior tour.
Yep.
But he is Chris's father-in-law, and they've had a lot of talks, and they've, you know, John Brody's got a few things to pass along.
Yes, he does. 3rd down and 15. Chandler throws, and that's incomplete. Intended for Chris Carter, double covered on a play, and it's 4th down.
And when you look at Chris Chandler, you know, you're happy for guys, good guys that good things happen to. And certainly this year was the career year for him that put him back up in the upper echelon of quarterbacks. And certainly he's going to be around a few more years with the Falcons. And that's a young team that looks like it's going to, you know, still be a force for many years. And that's not a one-hit wonder team by any stretch.
No, he was not a one-hit wonder quarterback either. He didn't buy many green bananas in a lot of the places that Chris Chandler called on. In Atlanta, like his 6th ball club.
Sixth started for all 6 teams.
Ooh, pressure's on. Matt Turk nearly has it blocked. Now he's forced to throw a little jump pass caught by one of the linemen. And that is Derek Brooks, the Tampa Bay linebacker.
And he's arguing with the pass rush here, and there's a flag on the field.
I thought I was watching Harry Gilmer there for a minute.
Yes.
I said Harry Gilmer. Boomer thought I said Happy Gilmore.
That's what I thought.
I thought Harry Gilmer, the old quarterback.
No. I didn't say that.
Well, here, among other things they're talking about, you can rush 6 guys on a punt, 3 from each side. There's an observer upstairs. You saw one of the officials reaching for what is an earpiece, so that if the observer upstairs can spot something down on the field along those lines, he can help the officials.
We might have that observer for all the games next year.
Well, or some form of it.
The ruling is that it is permissible to rush the punter. However, we had an ineligible downfield catching the ball, number 55.
Okay, that's Derek Brooks. And thus,
That instance right there where Dick Hantak turns his mic on and tells the fans, tells us exactly what the ruling is, really helps the situation, and it cleans up any second guessing by us or anybody else who might be watching this game.
Second guessing?
Yeah, well, you know how you are. You second guess the officials all the time.
Here? No. First guess. It's never a guess.
That's right. First opinion.
It's a statement of fiction.
Well, Bill Belichick would like to know what in the world is going on. All right, Dick, what's happening?
Ruling for the game is that it is permissible to rush the punter. On the play, however, an ineligible receiver caught the ball.
Right.
The penalty is declined. The result of the play is short of the yard to gain. The ball will go over to the American Conference. First down.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, we should put him up here in the booth with us. Clean things up here a little bit.
It was a botched play. The other team gets the ball.
Basically.
That's it.
And here it is. They're only rushing 5 guys, it looks like.
Matt making the decision that if he kicked it, it was going to be blocked. Launches that, 60, 70-yard pass.
Shades of Gary Upremian.
Shot put action here.
Boy, got a lot of air under that one, didn't he?
And so the AFC will take over. Bill Belichick trying to become the victorious coach today. And we brought up something earlier this year with Bill and his relationship with Bill Parcells. And, of course, Belichick coached the Cleveland Browns before they moved to Baltimore. And what he's done with Parcells has been terrific through the years. When Parcells has been, let's say, without his man Belichick coaching the defense, there it is with Belichick on the staff, 626 the percentage. Without Belichick, those 3 years when Parcells was at New England, 438. So sort of reminds me of that old song by the Police, With or Without You.
With or Without You. 14 years Parcells has been a head coach in the NFL, and 11 of them he's had Bill with him alongside, and those are pretty impressive numbers. Belichick, of course, we didn't know that. Bill gave them to us before the game
and said, "Would you mind embellishing?"
No, they actually say that he is obviously the heir apparent to the New York Jets, and lucky for Coach Parcells that Bill Belichick decided to turn down opportunities to interview, I believe, with Kansas City and Chicago.
Correct.
So, they make a great team, and certainly that has shown itself time and again.
Well, here is Eddie George taken down, and you'll recall, Boomer, that a couple of years ago when it was a little messy in terms of the departure, Parcells leaving New England, when Bill was going to sign a consultancy contract with the Jets, there was an attempt at a bit of an end run that was very short-lived, in which Belichick would coach the team, and then Parcells would succeed Belichick.
Yeah, he was.
And the commissioner stepped in and said, "Hold it, hold it."
One of the shortest coaching times in recent history, maybe in all time.
Second down and 8 from the 15-yard line. Flutie off balance, incomplete. Third down.
The passing game in the Pro Bowl sometimes is not a thing of beauty.
Nope.
It takes a lot longer to make a passing game happen. Boomer talked earlier about how effective it is when we've got a Cunningham throwing to Moss, or we've got Testaverde throwing to Keyshawn Johnson, guys that are teammates that have some sense of timing.
When you think about it, there have been over 28 Pro Bowls, I guess. And
what team does she play for?
Right there it is, right there.
It is. 65 touchdown passes to 94 interceptions. I think I have a few of those interceptions.
5 of those interceptions today.
And you're only practicing about an hour a day. You might have a meeting for about 45 minutes, and most of the guys really aren't into it.
Offense, 5 yards, still third down.
Not only do you practice an hour a day, but the coach was telling us yesterday, every other day you had to get the team over here by 8 a.m.
And that's not an easy thing to do.
No.
finding them by 8 a.m. isn't that easy to do. You need to put like those radio transmitters on these guys. Be able to track them all over the islands.
3rd down and 13 at the 20-yard line. American Conference leading by 10. Fake inside handoff and then caught at the 5-yard line to set up a 1st and goal. Keyshawn Johnson over the middle.
It's a good throw and catch. That time throwing it right in the body of Keyshawn, and Keyshawn getting in front of Ray Buchanan and able to box him out, if you will.
Keyshawn Johnson making his 7th catch of the game as the 3rd quarter ends with the AFC on top 20-10. Back to Honolulu after this from our ABC stations.
They are among the most despicable criminals in Illinois. Some have kidnapped, raped, and tried to kill our kids. Now, they're conning the cops.
I know how intelligent and diabolical these people are.
Could dozens and dozens of sex offenders actually live at one address? That's what the police think.
What I found just almost knocked me off of the chair.
See what our investigation uncovered. Criminals playing a shelter game. Tonight on ABC 7 News at 10.
Heads up! They're gonna update the data.
They're coming to weed out us old blinks. Hide, boys! Hide me!
Any old links in here?
No old links, no old links here.
Break out your passport.
It's European Vacation Week.
So hop on a boat or catch a plane. Just don't miss a minute of the fun on Wheel of Fortune's European Vacation Week.
Monday at 6:30 on ABC 7.
Next time you need to look good for a meeting, remember, we'll press any suit you bought from the Men's Warehouse for free, which sure beats trying to do it yourself.
The Men's Warehouse.
You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Rick Schroeder of NYPD Blue, Tuesday at 10.
So we start the 4th quarter here in Honolulu. Al Michaels with Dan Dierdorf, Boomer Esiason, Leslie Visser, and Dan Fouts.
That could go from any kids to any parents.
That's right. That's exactly right. It's a generic sign. It travels from stadium to stadium. And the Adrian Morrell on the left. Gary Allen Clark, his high school coach, who coaches the Lele Hua Mules here in Hawaii and has been named the NFL High School Football Coach of the Year. NFL sponsoring that contest. And Gary Allen Clark, our congratulations to him, and does a great job with the Mules.
How important was your high school coach to you, Dan?
I'm still afraid of him.
Me too. I'm afraid of my guy too.
If my high school coach said drop and give me 20, I'd die in the effort.
Oh man, I feel the same way.
It's a 1st and goal for the AFC, up by 10. Ball at the 3. First play of the 4th quarter. Flutie flipping it, and he had a wide open Frank Wycheck in the end zone and flips it over his head.
Flutie flipped it too far.
He did.
Wide open. Frank had a shot at it. This is Frank's first Pro Bowl. He's wide open in the end zone, and Doug misfires.
This is definitely Doug's fault because, Frank Wycheck's from Maryland, doesn't make very many mistakes, and he probably would have had that if it would have been an opportunity.
Frank
Maryland. What does Maryland have to do with anything? Oh, you went to Maryland. Oh, I see the point you're trying to make. Oh, I got it.
2nd down and goal from the 3. Wycheck replacing the injured Shannon Sharp. And that's a great defensive play. Eddie George is tackled as it was, I believe, Jesse Armstead coming through to submarine and make the tackle.
See the difference between a guy from Michigan and a guy from Maryland? a Maryland guy is open in the end zone and has nothing to do with the play, and he talks about it.
Yep.
Ty Law runs an interception all the way back for a touchdown. I don't feel the need to even mention the fact he's from Michigan.
Well, because
you could learn a little something, Boomer.
Just a little bit later. What did you just do?
Oh no, only to illustrate a point. That's all. It was not to sit here and cackle.
I can't help it. I have certain loyalties. I got to make sure.
3rd down and goal. The ball is at the 8-yard line. Fruity out of the shotgun. Doug fires into traffic.
Intercepted, I believe.
It is incomplete. Incomplete. Ray Buchanan almost came up with it.
Boy, Ray Buchanan sure did a heck of a job seeing Keyshawn Johnson on his way in there and meeting him at the football.
And I did ask Ray Buchanan if he wanted to guarantee anything before today's game. All he says, well, one of us is going to win. That's the only guarantee I'll give you.
Keyshawn looking for an 8th catch here. And now Elam, who's 2 for 2, hits this one from 26 yards away to extend the lead. It's now the AFC on top, 23-10.
When you come into Home Depot, there are professionals in every department.
We have journeyman electricians,
master plumbers.
We've got roofers.
We hire. Back in Hawaii again, the stadium sold out. Aloha Stadium hosting this game for the 20th consecutive year. They brought the Pro Bowl to the islands in 1980. Here's a look at our crew preparing for the game. And back to live action, not plausibly live. A bouncing kickoff fielded at the 4-yard line. Michael Bates of the Panthers gets tackled at the 19-yard line. To the field, and Leslie Visser.
Al, he has said this is his final year, but there might be a slight crack in the door. Reggie, tell us it isn't true.
Well, I'm retired. I mean, I've always said it. I allow God to direct me, and I will admit I'm intrigued with Ray Rose having a job. And not only that, the other coaches, with Emmitt being there. So, but right now I'm retired, and unless God says something else, and that's what it's going to be.
Well, our standout stat guy, Steve Hurt, says you can't retire in 192.5 sacks. You have to go for 200.
Well, the records don't make me no difference. I mean, it's great to get the sacks, and that's what you play for, is to be great in all aspects of the game. But, the great thing is winning a championship. There's nothing like that.
And that you've done. Congratulations to you, Reggie. Back to you, Al.
Thank you, Leslie. And that's Jerry Rice making the catch, taking it up to the 43. And the Emmitt to whom Reggie White referred is Emmitt Thomas, who is the new defensive coordinator now with the Green Bay Packers. And Reggie
was raised
Emmitt
defensive coordinator.
Philadelphia. Yeah.
Right. He was raised defensive coordinator with the Eagles. And a guy that, a guy that gets mentioned for head coaching possibilities around the league, Emmitt Thomas.
I think what I'm most happy for is Ray Rhodes in a situation where he can win, and he can win immediately. He's got one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback in football playing for him.
43-yard line on 1st down, and moving through the middle is Emmitt Smith across the 50 to the 48. Mike Holmgren going to Seattle, and as fate would have it, Seattle and Green Bay will play each other this coming season.
And you really have to give Ron Wolf a lot of credit in Green Bay, because he was very decisive and moved quickly to hire Ray Rhodes. A lot of positions open at the time, and Ron, of course, had a lot of time to think about it. It's been a year, really, that Mike Holmgren's been in play, and talk of him leaving Green Bay. But when it came time to pull the switch and pull the trigger, Ron was ready to do so.
And the interesting thing about that is that you see how Green Bay acted so quickly. They jump on it, and then somebody in their division, Chicago, couldn't make up their mind, thought that they had their guy, the defensive coordinator from the Arizona Cardinals, Dave McGinnis, hastily called a press conference. That whole thing got blown up, and then they end up going to get Dick Duran, but it just doesn't seem right, the way the whole thing ended up in Chicago. And, they've been fighting from the bottom now for the last few years, and you wonder why.
Not necessarily a case study in how to do it.
No, not at all.
Embarrassing for everybody involved, and I'm sure Mike McCaskey and the Bears organization would like to have another shot at it.
1st down at the 42-yard line. Smith Emmitt to the 38. On the subject of Smith, let's go to Dan Fouts.
Thank you, Al. I'm with Bruce Smith from one great defensive end, Reggie White, over there now to Bruce. Bruce, this is your 11th Pro Bowl, MVP back in '87. How has this game changed for you?
Well, it's just changed so far as a tremendous number of players that are new. Their first time over here, second time over here. So I'm getting a chance to mingle with them and actually meet them for the first time. It's exciting.
Any idea the temperature in Buffalo today?
Probably cold. Very cold.
Congratulations. Al, back to you.
All right, thank you, Dan. Chandler pump fakes and then throws incomplete, intended for Chris Carter.
I think Chris Carter saw Steve Atwater coming and decided, you know what, I don't think this is a good place to be right now and catch this football.
Hurt him, too.
Chris Carter, a very veteran wide receiver. In a Pro Bowl, making a very veteran play right here.
Absolutely.
He wants to live to play another play.
Watch this. Watch how he looks. He sees the middle. He can sense. No. I don't think I'm going in there. No, I'm not going in there. Forget that.
3rd down and 6. Chandler hit as he throws. Caught at the 28-yard line. It's Randy Moss hauling it in. And that's enough for a 1st down.
You know, Al, you could call that play almost every down now. Chandler gets hit as he throws. This is where the offensive linemen really get very tired. You know, the sun's out there. They're down on the AstroTurf, and they're just thinking, oh, just keep the clock running. Right, Dan?
No, I couldn't disagree with you more, Boomer. You're starting that quarterback whine again.
Oh, no.
The guys, this is where they know they have to pass. They're down. So, of course, they're not playing the run as much as they should.
1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Chandler for Rice, and that's incomplete. Ty Law with the coverage. A reminder, the practice, an Emmy winner and Golden Globe winner. Get ready for an all-new episode of the best drama on television. It's The Practice, and you'll see it on ABC tonight at 10 Eastern and Pacific, or in the Eastern time zone after 2020, 9 Central time. 2nd down and 10 at the 27-yard line. Chandler for Carter, and coming over to break it up is Ty Law, reading it perfectly. To Leslie Visser once more. Leslie.
Al, we know about great offensive linemen from Michigan. I found another one, Hall of Famer Tom Mack. Tom, what does this mean to you?
Well, this is very, very special, obviously. I waited a long time, didn't really think it was going to happen. Absolutely delighted that it happened, so I'm thrilled.
You know, you never missed a game because of injury. What do you credit your durability with?
That's a lot of luck, probably a little bit of stupidity because I played hurt a lot, and a lot of great teammates.
Well, they said that he and Dan Deerdorf used to get confused for each other. Is that true? Back to you, Al.
I was going to say, is every old Michigan lineman look alike?
Tom Mack and I, first of all, wait till this play's over.
Looking than you.
There's a penalty flag thrown, intended for Rice, incomplete.
Tom Mack certainly deserved to be elected to the Hall of Fame years ago, and patiently had to wait and wait and wait. The guy played in 11 Pro Bowls. Should have gone in a long time ago. We used to go to golf tournaments together, and we'd pick a day, and for that day I'd be Tom Mack, and he'd be Dan Deerdorf.
Repeat the down.
We could pass for brothers anywhere in this country. Congratulations to Tom. He has waited far longer than he should have.
He is better looking than you, though.
Well, who isn't?
10:54 left in regulation. AFC on top by 13.
We're going to get blown out of this booth here before long.
3rd down and 5. Chandler for Rice, and Jerry drops it at the 15-yard line, so it's 4th down. So the new class, the class of 99, and there they are: Mack, Taylor, Newsome, Shaw, and Dickerson. That is quite a quintet. Being tried in Canton in August. The winds are picking up. It's 4th down, and the NFC going for it on 4th down and 5 from the 22-yard line. And that's incomplete, intended for Carter. He's double covered, and the AFC will get it back with 10:45 left in Honolulu, and the American Conference leading 23-10.
You know what I want.
Yeah, me too.
Don't come back with that one. You know what I want. Don't come back with that one.
I only got the one.
Don't come back with that one.
Where's the next store?
Yuma, 150 miles.
Oh, too bad.
Have you ever been to Yuma?
I'm going to Kansas City. A little canoeing. I could tell by your speedo. Right there. There I go. Right there. That's me. Flipping over.
Boomer, the king of the bonsai pipeline. Ball at the 22-yard line, and the Flutie is going deep, and it is caught by Eric Moles. So you've got the two Buffalo Bills doing what they did during the regular season. Flutie to Moles for a big gain.
And a big gain is key, Al. Moles with a 20-yard per catch average during the course of the season. He is not what you'd call a possession receiver. This guy goes for the big money.
And I think he kind of caught Ray Buchanan by surprise. I think that they probably thought they were just going to run the clock out here, and to pull a play like that, they took advantage of Ray Buchanan sleeping over there a little bit.
So Flutie going for the kill shot here, up by 13. A reverse roll, and that is incomplete back at the 31-yard line. Moles lining up on the other side, dropping it. Covered by Sanders, second down.
Sam Gash was underneath right there, wondering if he should have made a play for it.
I think Sam was thinking, man, he threw that ball awfully hard for me to catch it. Again, in the Pro Bowl passing game, not everybody where they're supposed to be. Doug puts the ball right onto the hands of Eric Moles.
Well, it wasn't over 20 yards, so he didn't want to catch it.
You know, maybe that might have brought his average down. I didn't think about that.
Second down and 10.
Oh, that was a good-looking play.
Handoff. And then Flutie's pass is off the fingertips, so Frank Wycheck, it'll be third down with 10:03 to go in regulation. You know, Dan, you were talking about Tom Mack, and I can say it. You should have been in the Hall of Fame earlier than you were elected and inducted, and Tom Mack of the same ilk. But that's the offensive lineman's lament, I guess, among other things. And I think of like Randall McDaniel, who today is a part of the NFC team, the great guard. This is his 10th consecutive Pro Bowl start, and he dwells, like so many offensive linemen, in relative anonymity. Third down and 10, and that's Marshall Faulk getting stopped at the 45, and there he is, Randall McDaniel, just year in and year out. He plays right now with such a high-profile team. I mean, he's like the fourth most famous Randall on the team. You got Randall Cunningham and Randy Moss and John Randall and Randall McDaniel, and there he is, just doing the job year in and year out, but a guy who'll definitely go to camp.
And yet,
someday.
of all those guys, he might be the best player. He might be the best player of the entire group. And like a lot of offensive linemen, when you're really doing your job well, nobody notices.
And when you see double-digit Pro Bowls right there, that is a sign of enormous respect, because as we all know, the players and the coaches are the ones that vote.
Deion Sanders is dropping back to return this punt, but won't have the opportunity to do it as Hendricks sails it into the end zone. And the NFC will have it back at the 20-yard line with 9 minutes, 11 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And the American Conference up by 13. In Honolulu, movable stands here at Aloha Stadium, which can be converted into baseball usage. People using the passageway to get from one section to the other. First down for the NFC now from the 20-yard line, with Chandler hit as he got rid of the ball. And Michael Sinclair forcing the issue. The guy who led the league in sacks this year was 16.5.
And that one will leave a mark. Chris awfully slow getting up.
You know, I mean, you want to come over here, you want to play in the Pro Bowl. You got Michael Strahan running after you, Reggie White running after you, McCrary, Russell, Washington, Smith, Sinclair. Oh, this is a great place for a quarterback to be.
It's a contact sport, Boomer. It's a contact sport.
I don't want to hear any more about that. That's like live bait out there.
2nd down and 10 from the 20-yard line as Chandler throws, caught by Carter. 4-yard pickup for Chris. 3rd down and 6. Leslie, what's up?
Al, as you know, the book Tuesdays with Maury has been a bestseller for a couple years about the impact of a teacher on his student. Well, Michelle Eggleston was named the NFL Teacher of the Year, nominated by Darryl Russell. Congratulations to you. What is your philosophy of teaching?
My philosophy is basically, besides teaching the content, is to let my students know that I'm trying to look for the goodness in each of them and to let them know I care about them as young people.
What was the impact of Darryl Russell, of course, the great player with the Oakland Raiders?
Well, Darryl's philosophy in his life his focus was always on family, friends, and the game. And he's carried that through all the way, and he's really nurtured all of those around him, and he's quite a remarkable young man.
So are you. Thanks a lot, Michelle. Congratulations. Back to you, Al.
Thank you, Leslie.
You know, I think it's great that the NFL recognizes Teachers of the Year, the Coaches of the Year, and the players have an opportunity to say thank you to a lot of those people that have had something to do with their careers. And I'm sure Darryl Russell feels, well, I know he feels very strongly about his teacher right there.
6'5", 320, though. I can tell you, if you're an offensive guard and Darryl's pounding on your head, nurturing is not the word that really comes to mind when you think of Darryl Russell.
Matt Turk sends one stratospherically into the arms of the rookie Charles Woodson. And the Oakland Raider loses the football, and the NFC appears to have recovered. Wait for the official signal here, which is exactly what the NFC would need to get back into the game, down by 13.
Matt Turk was screaming at Dick Hantak, claiming that he was roughed up when he was punting.
Got to put that ball away.
It is the NFC's ball. Jesse Armstead comes up with it. Earlier pick and now a fumble recovery for Jess.
Fumbled during the return, recovered by the National Football Conference. 1st down.
Well, the NFC in need of a break here, down by 13 points. Got one. Here's Turk at the end. Watch him go down after this punt. Now watch.
Oh, talk about whining.
Jeez. He acted like he was a quarterback there.
That's an Oscar and a Golden Globe.
How can they do that to him, Boomer? Don't you have anything to say?
He was faking it the whole way.
From the 29-yard line, Carter is run out of bounds after he picks up 6 or 7 to the 22-yard line.
I was going to say that Charles Woodson was trying to act a little like Deion Sanders, and there's only one Deion Sanders. Put the ball away and hold on to it. Oh, look at now. He's over here, you know, making like his ankle hurts. Look at him. That could be the biggest punter in football, though, by the way.
How about Darren Bennett? He's a guy that comes to mind.
Right.
Well, he's huge.
This guy's a pretty big guy right here.
Yeah, he is.
2nd down and a long 2. Ball is on the ground and it is recovered by Emmitt Smith.
Chandler fumbled a snap last year that gave the AFC an opportunity to win the ball game. The NFC had it put away, and there was a fumbled exchange. The AFC recovered it, and they went on and won the ball game.
Well, Tony Mayberry right now is the center, you know, from the Buccaneers, and I've told you all year long that quarterback center exchange, you know, that you have a certain feeling with one another, and it's not something that comes easy because
you got to really stay home. You can't leave early.
3rd down and 4 now. Chandler going for 6, and it's knocked away at the last moment by Ty Law. So Law involved in several plays today intended for Rice.
And Jerry, you see, Jerry's really arguing that there was interference down on the 2 or 3 yard line, pleading his case to no avail. Let's see if Jerry had a point. That's Wesley Walls, number 85. Here comes Jerry Rice.
Oh.
Whoa! No wonder Rice was arguing. Ty Law puts an arm right around Jerry Rice's neck.
He neckties him well before the ball gets there.
Yep. And so the NFC having to go for it on another 4th down play, this time 4th and 4. And that is batted and picked off at the 22-yard line by Darrell Russell. So we just talked about his teacher winning the award, and the pupil responds with a 4th down pick.
Well, and Jerry Rice shaking his head as he heads to the far sideline, and he's got good reason. What should have been a ball on a 2 or 3 yard line for the NFC results in absolutely nothing.
23-10 AFC.
You know, I've played in the U.S. and Canada, so I've got friends all over. That's why I use 10-10-2-20. It's only 99 cents up to 20 minutes and just 10 cents a minute after that within the U.S. or to Canada. So when I call my buddy Phelan here in the States, or my brother in Canada, it's just 99 cents all day, every day. With 10-10-2-20, all your calls can be under $1. Hey, little brother, go long. Falls for it every time.
Hey! Hey! Rogaine Extra Strength works for 4 out of 5 men.
What do you mean, works?
Regrows hair, or at least stops hair loss.
With my luck, I'll be that 5th guy.
Probably not. But here's our guarantee. Give Rogaine Extra Strength an honest chance. You be the judge. It stops hair loss, or regrows hair, more hair, thicker hair, faster, or we give your money back. Guaranteed. Rogaine Extra Strength works for you, or your money back.
I can't lose.
Everyone remembers their inspiration. That one person who gave you all the help you needed. Taught you how to learn, how to think for yourself, and how to make the most of what you've got. Everyone remembers their inspiration.
The NFL and Darrell Russell are proud to honor Michelle Eggleton from San Diego, California as the NFL Teacher of the Year.
A storm is brewing, and it's bringing something with it. Stephen King's Storm of the Century. ABC next Sunday.
A little local flavor right there. The Paniolos, Hawaiian for cowboys, or maybe those are the Paniolesses.
You know, so many people, when they think of Hawaii, just think of the beaches.
Yes.
And there's so much other topography here.
Coming up next, 2020, and then the practice that's coming up following the game tonight, except on the West Coast, where you'll see it in regular pattern right here on ABC.
Nothing like having lots of topography.
Topography?
That's exactly right.
That's right. John Elway, who played in the first quarter, led the team to a touchdown and whistles before the snap. Good food as well. Manapua, Pipikala, Malasadas.
False start. Offense, number 79. Prior to the snap, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
We had a pretty clean first half, but this second half has been littered with flags.
Yes,
this offensive lineman getting tired.
To Dan Fouch. Dan.
Sinclair here. Michael, maybe you can settle this argument they're having upstairs about the offensive lineman and the defensive lineman. Do you guys feel you have the edge?
Yeah, I feel we do have the edge. We're fresh. You know, we're young guys. We're excited to play in this game. So, you know, just feeding off of that energy, we've been coming all day.
Michael, a couple of teammates defensively here in the Pro Bowl with you. Now you've got a new head coach in Seattle and Mike Holmgren with an offensive bent.
I'm looking forward to working with that coaching staff, getting some postseason play in for one time in my career. You know, Coach Holmgren, he's going to do a great job in Seattle, man. You know, all the guys are already excited just to work with that coaching staff and get something done. And, you know, like I say, get into the postseason, make some things happen.
Rumors are, though, you might not even be there.
That's just rumors. Until it's truth, I'm still a Seattle Seahawk.
Led the league in sacks. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Al, back to you.
All right, thank you, Dan. As Doug Flutie hands the ball off after we saw Eddie George gain 5. Sam Gash taking some time off the clock and moving the change as well for a first down.
Dan Fouts referring to Michael Sinclair there about you might not be there. Michael's the name that gets mentioned a lot about if maybe there would be some type of a trade between Seattle and Minnesota for Brad Johnson. And Michael Sinclair's name is the one that keeps cropping up.
And again, it's a rumor till it happens.
Right, it is a rumor. There are a lot of rumors going on right now. And, you know, the one thing that...
Hello?
Hello. No, there's the one thing that you wonder what's happening with Warren Moon out there. I don't know if anybody said anything there either. Have they? I haven't heard anything.
No, I haven't heard anything in that regard either.
All I heard was that Mike Holmgren was going to have a sit-down with Warren Moon, and I don't necessarily know if that ever took place or what the situation there is either. But, yes, a lot of rumors floating, boys.
Mm-hmm. It's the year of the veteran quarterback, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Do you have anything? Do you have anything you'd like to say, Bill?
No, not right now, no.
Or do you want to give somebody else a scoop? 2nd and 9 at the 40. AFC protecting the lead, leading by 13. Flutie throws, and that's incomplete. It'll be 3rd down. 4:54 remaining in the 4th. This game is being brought to you by Miller Lite, an official sponsor of the NFL and Super Bowl 33. RCA changing entertainment again. HUD and FHA are on your side. And Motorola gives you wings. Wings set you free. I don't know. Got to get into the spirit of these billboards.
Darn right.
Right.
Set you free.
Yes. Third and 9 as Flutie throws, and that is broken up. And Buchanan has had an active game.
At 23-10, I think we just need to hand it off.
Yeah.
You know,
the AFC not exactly just grinding it out here, burning up the clock, are they?
No, they're not at all. I mean, with every incomplete pass, they keep the time on the clock, and the NFC stays in the game. And now you have Randy Moss getting ready to return punts.
So Moss drops all the way back at the 10-yard line. Craig Hentrick sets up at his own 26 to take the snap.
This is going to be interesting here.
Yeah, Moss with a lot of room from the 8, but then he runs out of room in a hurry voluntarily, and a flag is thrown. Goes out of bounds at the 18-yard
Showing
line.
a little bit of veteran expertise there, I might add.
A rookie, a veteran. When you see 4 guys coming at you, nobody to block for you.
Especially in the Pro Bowl.
I think it all looks the same. Get out of bounds.
Holding during the return, number 82 will penalize 5 yards from the end of the run. First down.
That's Michael Bates.
Now, you played in 6 of these Pro Bowls. How many did your team win? Do you remember?
Either 4 or 5 of them.
Did you really?
Yeah, we had a pretty good run.
And who were the quarterbacks that you played with?
Roger Staubach.
Y.A. Tittle?
Isn't he really funny?
Otto
Otto Graham? You mentioned Otto Graham. Yeah. Isn't he? Jim Hart. I played in a number of them with my teammate Jim Hart. And yeah, we had a pretty. You ever hear any of those guys? Nah? Yeah. Boomer knows Kent Graham, not Otto Graham. 1st and 10 at the 9 for the NFC. Chandler throws, incomplete.
I told you before, I kept hearing about that Tarkenton guy, but I never saw it.
Right. Booth Tarkenton. Let's go to Leslie.
Al, as you know, the Super Bowl went terribly wrong for this man, Eugene Robinson, arrested for solicitation the night before the game.
Oh, wow.
Eugene, you gave back the Bart Starr Award last Saturday. What prompted you to do that?
I mean, one thing, I think it's the right thing to do. I mean, truly in my heart, I believed it was the right thing to do. So, you know, one thing I said, I wasn't going to run or hide from people or try to cower in corners, and I'm not. And I refuse to. That's not my personality. That's not what God's placed in my heart. So it was the right thing to do.
Do you think anything positive can come from this?
Hey, there's no doubt about that. If I was just bent on one mistake and that would be the epitaph of my life and that was it, I mean, I can't even live my life that way. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm everything. And my kids and my wife, they depend on me and they need me. I need them. And so I got a lot of things I can take out of the thing, a positive experience. And so I know I got to be careful, but a lot of things is positive. I'm very encouraged, too, so I'm really encouraged.
Thank you, Eugene. Back to you, Al.
All right, thank you very much, Luke.
Wow, that had to be one tough interview to give right there. Give him credit for standing up.
Yep. He's faced up to it under extremely difficult circumstances, obviously. 3rd down and 10, flag down, caught by Jerry Rice.
But you know, at least he's facing it head on. And I really don't know how to respond to it. The fact that he's right there on camera talking, and give him credit, boy.
I just think of Jay Leno saying to Hugh Grant, what in the heck were you thinking about?
Offside. Defense number 99. Penalty is declined. Result of the play, 1st down.
The night before our Super Bowl in '89, we had a guy by the name of Stanley Wilson that basically disappeared on us. And, you know, I really haven't seen him until Chris Collinsworth did a great piece on him before the Super Bowl. And that was 10 years ago. And it only took 10 years for Stanley to come out and I guess and talk about it. And boy.
Chandler launching it for Jerry Rice, who's been going to Rice left and right. Time Law with the coverage.
They're not supposed to be any line stunts. A good-looking line stunt run by the AFC that time. An end tackle where the end crashes, the tackle loops around. That's supposed to be a no-no. Not only do they have the lead, but these guys are breaking the rules at the same time. Boomer, it's got to stop.
It does have to stop. And I think they need an investigation personally.
I think you should lead that investigation.
I'm thinking about it because, you know, just for the sake of the quarterback.
Right. We need an independent counsel here is what we need.
Well, we have a flag. Wait a minute. Wait. We have a flag down there on the field.
Back at the 22.
Oh, I think it came from upstairs. There's the official listening to upstairs. See, they're piped into what we're doing here. That's the whole thing. Yeah, there he is.
Oh, Nick saw it too.
Way to go, Nick.
Illegal defensive formation, number 97, 15 yards, previous bat, 1st down.
Did they have us piped into his box?
Cortez Kennedy is the AFC player that drew the wrath of Dick Hantek. You can't run a line stunt. If you line up on a guy, you got to rush that guy and go right upfield.
But how? You know, the interesting thing is that Nick is watching those things, huh?
Yeah. Well, that's why he's here.
Well, but I'm just saying, I mean, that's not an easy thing to see.
Not just a 3 week in Hawaii.
Unless you're a lineman that knows something about it.
Nick is the observer.
This guy has been demeaning me all year. Unless you're a lineman.
1st down from the 35-yard line, and that is caught at the 50-yard line. That is Michael Bates picking up 18. And the NFC trailing by 13, but not moving with alacrity here necessarily.
Oh, you broke it out again.
Yep, it's a new year. It's a new.
If there was an opportunity here to run a no huddle, I think that time is here.
Yeah,
for
I
the
would
NFC.
think so.
Being more than deliberate.
Instead, they mosey on up to the line. 1st down from the 47-yard line. Chandler, and it's caught. Moss, 35-yard line. Randy then flips the ball to his teammate Carter, and he takes it to the 23-yard line. Moss and Carter inseparable.
Now come on, Chris, get him up here to the line of scrimmage.
Well, I think they went out of bounds, right? So,
but you want to? I would, while you got the defense moving here, get these guys. I'd snap it off here.
Get the juices flowing, a little sense of urgency,
it's not
right?
Just time, it's getting the defense on their heels.
That's right. You know, a little sense of urgency. Get up there, yeah.
Maybe they should be in the vernacular of the 90s, proactive offensively. Can you tell me what proactive means? Is active or inactive? What in the world is proactive?
Well, I think it's supposed to be really active.
Okay, from the 23-yard line. That's incomplete. Is there a flag? There is not. Randy Moss, the intended receiver, and right there is Sean Springs saying, nope, nope, nope. 2nd down and 10. A reminder coming up following the game. 2020. You'll see that on ABC, and then the practice will follow on the East Coast and in the Central Time Zone. Our lineup tonight right here on ABC. 3:18 left in regulation. It is 2nd down and 10. 14-yard line by Jerry Rice.
No run after the catch there.
Jerry is a yard shy of the first down. 3rd and 1.
The only reason I can think that they're not in a 2-minute drill is that they really don't have a way to call a play from a non-huddle situation.
On 3rd and 1 from the 14-yard line, Chandler gets sacked back at the 22-yard line. Michael McCrary turns a 3rd and 1 into a 4th down they're compelled to go for.
And we've had some defensive linemen whose names haven't been called at all today, and one of them is not Michael McCrary. This guy has had a heck of a Pro Bowl. He's a couple of sacks. He is all over the place.
I'm telling you, those are the happiest guys out here. Those are the guys that have definitely, as the game wears on, an extreme advantage, just because there are more of them than there are offensive linemen.
Well, Boomer, this is a game where a guy like McCrary really gets an opportunity to shine. Let's face it, he didn't play on a high-profile team there in Baltimore, and yet he has 14.5 sacks. And if he's playing for the 49ers or he's playing for some other team that gets a lot of visibility, all of a sudden everybody in America is really familiar with a guy like Michael McCrary.
And he's a guy that you have to game plan for, meaning that when you are in long passing situations, you're going to make sure that you have 2 guys accounting for him, or at least the running back checking him out before he goes out into his pass pattern. That's how good of a pass rusher he is.
You take 2 guys, McCrary and Michael Sinclair from Seattle. Sinclair has more sacks than any defensive end in the league in the last 3 years. More than anybody in the league the last 3 years. And yet these 2 guys in Baltimore and Seattle respectively, just, they're doing their thing. They're playing great football. It's just that they're not household names.
Well, they're not the Bruce Smiths or the Reggie Whites. These type of guys have been perennial All-Pros, but maybe in 3 or 4 years their names will be, out here every year.
Depends on exposure for their teams. 4th down and 9. A lot of it has to do with getting to play in big games and Monday night games and in Sunday doubleheader games and games where more than 10% of the country is watching you.
Sometimes it's not just who you are, it's where you are.
Start. Offense number 85 prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Emmitt Smith saw on shoulder pads, and Randall Cunningham looking on and seeing if the NFC with a last gasp here on 4th down and 14 can convert and stay alive. Chandler for Carter, and that's incomplete. And Ty Law is a guy who right now would have to be very seriously considered as the player of the game.
Absolutely. He's been on almost every play that has been thrown his way, with the exception of that great play that Randy Moss made. He has been right there, and he's made the play. Now it was pretty close to being interference right there.
Interference is a tough call to get here today.
Yes.
Jerry Rice not getting it. Chris Carter couldn't get it there. Of course, Chris Carter has to go back and start working on wrapping up the X-Files.
We talked about the expansion draft, and Tuesday on ESPN2 you'll see that expansion draft as the Cleveland Browns select the people who are exposed by some of the other teams. And we mentioned that Roel Preston is in the game, the Green Bay punt returner. He's a guy who, if Cleveland so chooses, could be the Browns kick returner next year. Sam Gash takes the ball up to the 30-yard line.
Now, basically, it's 5 players per team are exposed. Am I not right?
Right.
And I guess if one of your players is selected,
you take one back.
You take one back. So,
and you can lose only a maximum of 2. Once you lose 2 people, you're out of it. And we reach the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go in Honolulu with the AFC on top 23-10.
The RCA experts have been out looking for ways to improve how you watch TV.
Friend of mine is having a rough
time. Jimmy, I'm scoring 2 touchdowns for you today, buddy. He'll make that 3. Well, the best of luck to both of you. And now to the kickoff.
This game will not be broadcast in your area. More football later.
Their latest idea? The RCA DirecTV system, which gives you 200 channels with digital quality picture. So if it's on, chances are it'll be on your TV.
It all began with its solid form design. Now that design is achieving some very solid results, presenting the most solid Grand Am ever for the most solid ride of your life. And now Grand Am has been ranked the most appealing entry midsize car by J.D. Power and Associates. It's excitement, well-built. Grand Am by Pontiac. Get into a well-equipped Grand Am today for only $229 a month and drive away with one solid deal.
I heard my door close and I ran out to the truck, and this guy is standing there with a case of beer in his hand, and he tells me, he goes, "Oh, I was putting it back." My days are usually 10 to 12 hours a day. Come in here, get my invoices. From there, I get out on the road, start delivering. You see people, you go into the bars and you see people drinking, and you think, that looks good. I wish I could have one right now, especially on a hot day like today. It's a tough job, but I love it.
2020 Monday. Meet women who have lost it all. One even robbed a bank to satisfy this habit. Help for the seriously hooked gambler. 2020 Monday.
Back in Honolulu. Dan, I know you don't want me to do this, but I just have to. We're kind of at the end of a cycle here. And you and I have been together for 12 years. We've done more than 250 games, counting pre- and postseason. We've been on more than 750 hours of primetime television. And you are a great broadcaster, a great guy, a great friend, and I'm going to treasure these memories forever.
Thank you.
Really am. And
thank you. It was a good run. And you know something, bud? Any great offensive lineman knows to take care of his quarterback, and you have taken care of me this year, and you've been a great teammate. And,
well, thank you.
I am going to miss you, big fella.
Thank you, Boomer. And, you know, Al, it's nobody to blame. Nothing. It's just part of the business. And
the lousy part is what it is.
I just want to thank all the people we've worked with over the year. I've only been in the booth with a couple guys. You two, and 11 years with Frank. And I'd like to thank Frank. But just all the, you're finding out all the really good people that we work with here at ABC Sports. Kenny Wolf, our producer, and Craig Janoff, our director, and all the way down the line. It's I'll miss the people that I work with on a daily basis here.
Well, you've been great to me, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Yeah. It's nice you guys to say that.
No, we've had a lot of fun and a lot of great memories.
Yeah.
And
well, this you know, this package was here before I got here, before you got here, before you got here, and it'll be here long after all of us are gone, I would assume. So if somebody would have said when I started on this thing that if I could have had 3 or 4 years, I'd have said, "Are you kidding me? I'll gobble that up." To get 12 is a lot more than I ever counted.
And I got to say, one of the great memories for me, Dan, is the fact that, you know, we all knew that you should have been in the Hall of Fame for a long time, and then to finally to make it a couple of years ago and to be there when you were on the steps.
Well,
of Canton.
thanks, Al.
I will never forget that moment.
Thank you.
It's just wonderful.
Thank you. Well, you're the best. And Boomer, take care of this guy now. Don't.
I might strangle him before it's over.
Oh, wonderful! You and I are moving to Maui together.
Oh, yeah, okay. The big guy's been in between us all year, buddy.
Oh, that's. Uh-oh.
You want me to get out of the way now?
No. Wait a second.
Al, I'm just yanking your chain a little bit.
You know what?
You got to respect your elders, Boomer.
Hey, I've been the luckiest. I've been the luckiest guy in television. We get the 50-yard line seat on Monday night. We see the best games every week. We get, and we don't even have to pay for the ticket. And that's
true.
I've never forgotten that. I've never taken that for granted. And it has been it's been a fun way to stay around the game.
And we've been able to watch guys like that. John Elway, the MVP of the Super Bowl, and they have named co-MVPs of today's game, and they are Ty Law and Keyshawn Johnson have been named co-MVPs. Ty Law has had an active day, including an interception defensively, and Keyshawn has had 7 catches, one shy of the Pro Bowl record. Deion Sanders drops back to return this punt, so maybe a little bit more excitement to come in the Pro Bowl as Craig Hentrick will send it down there. But
Or I think back to that Monday night game we had in New York this year with the Cowboys and the Giants. The Deion Sanders show.
Oh.
And
we were wondering why they were punting it to him.
Really? That was an extraordinary night for Deion.
Yep. Deion Sanders is the one guy in this ultimate team sport who can just almost single-handedly just take a game by its neck and change it. And he did that night in New York, offensively, defensively, and on special teams.
So many wish that they could be like him. Much like in the NBA, everybody thinks, oh, maybe this is the next Jordan. This is the, I'll tell you what, they are a special breed of athlete who possess not only the God-given ability and skills, but the heart and the desire to take themselves to another level to separate themselves. Yep. And that's what makes them the great athletes that they are.
Of course, Deion struggled late in the season with the toe problem, the big toe in his left foot. And just, if you've ever injured your big toe, I know skeptics would say, geez, I can't believe that he's not playing just because his toe is sore. If you've injured, you've heard the expression turf toe. If you've injured your big toe, you can't do anything. You can't push off, you can't jump, you can't run. Other than that, you're fine.
And the fact that they play on AstroTurf down in Dallas doesn't help the fact either. I mean, playing on AstroTurf is not an easy thing on your body, and especially when there's problems with your feet, your ankles, and your knees.
Floating snap. Deion comes up and hauls it in at the 23. Looking for room.
Look who got him.
Can't quite escape Keyshawn Johnson on the coverage, assisting.
I wonder if Bill Parcells will move Keyshawn to the gunner position on the on the punts.
Yeah, we can look for that.
This guy here, Keyshawn, he wrote a book his rookie year and Throw Me the Damn Ball, and there was a lot of controversies about him taking issue with a lot of his teammates and the whole situation in New York. But in talking to a lot of the Jet people and the personnel, they say he is wonderful in the locker room, on the practice field, that he carries himself with such confidence, and he practices as hard as anybody on the practice field. So maybe he's grown up a little bit, and he's understanding a little bit more now of what it takes to truly become a great football player, and he's certainly headed in the right direction.
It's called maturity.
Yeah, and I think he was probably stung and embarrassed a little bit about Sean Springs lining up as a wide receiver for the NFC because they don't have enough players on the team. But, I think a lot of it has to do with he was probably a little bit embarrassed about the book and all the negative press that it received. And now he's really more or less is letting this playing do the talking for him.
He was the Salman Rushdie of the NFL for a while.
Well, that's not a good spot to be in.
No, it's not. And and he did alienate a lot of his teammates. And
that's quite an analogy, Al.
And I'll tell you what, there were a couple of his teammates. Hey, there were a couple of his teammates that wanted to put the hit out on him. Yes. I'm telling you.
1st and 10 at the 28 as Chandler throws to Allstott. And Mike picks up the first down, and the Tampa Bay Buck rumbling and stumbling all the way to the 49-yard line. Clock ticking down, and the NFC with nary a timeout, and
I don't know that they're even going to run another play.
They're not going to run a play.
Hey, the best thing about this game is that no serious injuries. Twisted ankle, a pulled hamstring, but nobody got seriously injured. And
if the NFC wanted to score a quick touchdown, I just hand it to somebody because nobody in the red jersey is going to tackle him.
Right. Well, the game is over. Bill Belichick, who comes in and replaces Bill Parcells as the head man for this one, is the winning coach. Dennis Green will shake hands with Belichick in a moment, and the AFC has won the game by a score of 23-10. So the season is now officially over, and whither John Elway, that decision yet to be made. Back to Rapid after this. In Honolulu, where the AFC wins 23-10. John Elway led the AFC to an early touchdown. He's with Dan Fouts. Dan.
John, congratulations on another win. The AFC still continues to dominate the NFC.
Well,
We didn't years ago, but it's kind of nice to get another win, and it's always, heck, that's what we play, is to win.
And everybody still wants to know, I won't ask you here, but will this be your last Pro Bowl, perhaps?
Oh, I don't know. Heck, if I come back, I'd love to come back here because I'm still playing at that level. But, you know, I'm going to take some time now. The season's over, and it's a nice finale, and I'm going to take a couple months and kind of enjoy it and enjoy last season.
And what time's the tea time tomorrow?
About 10 o'clock.
Good luck, Tom. Thank you very much. Al?
All right, thank you, Dan. And, well, we'll find out what John's decision is. And the next few weeks, Ty Law, the co-MVP.
Could you do that, Al?
I did. Well, did you ever hear of Chubby Checker?
Yes, I've heard of Chubby Checker.
Okay, well, I can do the twist. I can do the box step.
Man.
I can dance to the strains of "Will You Love Me When My Carburetor's Busted," which is a fabled old Hawaiian
You're going to have
melody.
to figure this out, Boomer. Al always wants to lead. That's the problem.
That is the problem now.
So you're going to have to give it up because he likes to be in command.
But not anymore, Boomer. You're going to be the guy. I'm like little Peggy March. I will follow you.
I see. Well, listen, I got to tell you, Dan,
like it.
I want to say it again. I mean, I can't tell you how great you've been for me this year.
Well,
you
thank
have
you.
absolutely been the best. You've been a great teammate. You understand what it means to be a great teammate, and you've made it easy for me. And I always seems like I lose my best offensive lineman when I just get it ready to go.
I wish we were going off the air. See, I love you.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
The greatest. The best.
Thank you.
That's the story from Hawaii. Pro Bowl over. Season over. Aloha.